Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner. I'm here with Matt Murray.
Hello.
Sean Bell.
Yo.
And James Farley.
Hello.
Dry. It has been a dry start to the... I ain't going to lie to you, listeners. We're not going to turn around and go, wow, we've got a crazy show for you today. We haven't. There's fuck all come out this year. What is going on?
Yeah, so I looked at the release schedule. This time last year, or at the start of last year, we were saying, God, like it's been a really dry start to the year. This time last year, we'd already had New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. Admittedly, it'll be out on Wii U, but we had it out. Life is Strange 2, Resident Evil 2, Kingdom Hearts 3. We had new Far Cry. We'd had Anthem. We had Crackdown 3. We had loads. And like right now, and
Anthem was out this time last year.
It was. Yeah, it came out February 22nd actually. So, but like last year, we were like, wow, it's quiet. This year is ridiculous.
It's
next gen, isn't it?
I mean, at least, like, you know, we're all sniggering about Anthem, but at least it was like, oh, fuck me, Anthem's out. Like, obviously, it turned out the way it did, but it was an event. Like,
more importantly, Sean, gave us a lot of content, didn't it?
I mean, it's still going.
Right now,
still going. It's value for money, that
game. So this week, we're going to keep what you've been playing very short, because no one wants to hear Matt talk about
new ones play nothing.
Sekiro again. But it'll be relatively short, and we'll be focusing on your questions. We've got tons of them this week, so it'd be quite good to get into them in a little bit more depth. But first of all, we must thank our Patreon producers this month: Alan M. Nash, Aaron Patrick, Anthony Oakenson, Toby Henry, Adam Capone. They're not just our Patreon producers, of course. They're full else. And if you'd like to support us on Patreon, then please go to www.patreon.com/TCGS for a cheeky podcast. We haven't recorded that yet, but it's on the calendar to do. We're going to be doing it. And the talk's over. That's going to be done this month. So we're all looking forward to that, aren't we, chaps? We're all looking forward to it. But should we get on to feedback from last week's show, Matthew?
Yeah, there's plenty. I made two major mistakes. I probably made countless more, but two that people picked up on. First of all, games leaving Game Pass, still being able to play them. No, it turns out you can't play them once they've left Game Pass, even if they have been downloaded to your machine. I went back to the link that I read, and turns out it's from 2006.
Nice.
So, yeah, not the case anymore. And plenty of people corrected me and said, yeah, sorry, you have to. Obviously, that's what the discount's there for. So if you've got it downloaded, you can buy it at a discount. Otherwise, it'll be ridiculous.
That's a bad mistake, Matt.
Well, yeah. I didn't look at the date. I thought, oh, wow, that's crazy. But anyway, regardless.
That is a bad mistake, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean...
Are we getting an apology? I think the listeners deserve an apology. I mean, I don't care, but there might be some people...
It was a listener who originally said it, right?
No. It was definitely Matt.
I thought it was Angry Kurt.
The listener sent an email, a text in saying, Dave, get Shadow of the Tomb Raider completed because it's going to be off Game Pass soon.
Right.
And Matt was like, I looked into it on Xbox.com.
Well,
and
I said,
basically...
I mean, I read it there, you know, so let's hope it. And you're like, if Xbox.com, it won't be an issue. But I failed to look at the date, and, you know, it turns out that is an issue. Anyway, yeah.
But it doesn't make any sense,
was the case at one point.
Hang on, it doesn't make any sense, though, because Game Pass wasn't around in 2006.
Well, maybe it was 2016. Whenever it was it's an old link, basically. And it was incorrect there.
Was this ever the case? I don't think this was ever the case. It wasn't a policy change because that would have been flagged
huge.
Up, right?
Yeah.
Right, hang on.
Maybe it was about games with gold? Or
no,
yes,
definitely Game Pass.
That is exactly what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Mm-hmm. Why would they still have that link active if it says that information?
Well, no. Someone had copied it from Xbox.com in like a forum or something.
Okay.
Oh my God, Matt. So when you said you got it from Xbox.com, where did you really get it from?
I'm trying to see if I can find the link. Reddit.
It's off a forum called 4chan?
Was it I Love Japanese Games?
It's mattmoy.com blog. Anyway, yeah, so I got that one wrong. But
right,
you know
so you're not going to tell us your source?
I can't find it without doing loads of typing.
He hasn't got one. He just made it up, didn't he?
Ridiculous.
No.
He did make it up. Yeah.
No, why would I make that up? That would be the most pointless thing to make up ever.
Well, I mean, because I don't know. You're asking me to try and understand your brain, and I don't think I'm in a position to do that.
No, I'm not at all.
Come on, Matt's always trying to say how brilliant Game Pass is constantly. This is just like another example. It's just like
Matt,
whatever it is, it's good.
James, have you noted this down? Because next time he has a go at you about your news, you know that you could just throw this back in his face, right?
Yeah, it's already there.
But this got nothing to do with it. I'm not the news hound. I'm just...
No, but you did cut in and say, actually, I checked out my sources, Xbox.com, since we found out that it wasn't from Xbox.com.
This is in follow-up. It wasn't in news. It was in follow-up.
Yeah.
I cut into myself. Don't worry about it.
You said you researched it, and then you
I
found...
looked into it.
Right, yeah, and that you found out that it was... you could still play it after it was taken off of Game Pass, and you got that information from Xbox.com. We've since found out that that's not true, and you didn't get it from that website. So I'm happy James is the newsman.
I don't use...
Okay,
anyway,
don't get on your
I'll
Mac.
get the link.
I guarantee it was NeoGAF or something.
No, it was probably even worse than that. It was NeoGAF. It might be like Game Facts or
just
something.
apologise and admit that you made it up, and then we can move on.
Look, I'm sorry that you guys believed what I said in the podcast. That's where the apology ends.
Unbelievable. Okay,
I'm not apologising for me trying. All right,
we don't need the apology now because the listeners are going to attack him for a week. He's going to regret doing it. Okay, go on.
Can I just say, by the way, don't make me laugh this week because I've got a cough and it sets me right off.
I find that very hard, though, Sean. Yeah. I'm afraid I'm a very funny guy.
You're just too funny. You're just too funny.
To do that.
It's one of those ones. You know when you, So every time you laugh, it makes you cough. But there's the sort of transition period between the laugh and the cough. So you go like,
yeah. I mean, James does that every week, right?
That's true. Yeah, I just need to learn to mute myself.
Right, go on.
I'm still trying to find this link.
Forget the link, Matt. We all know that you're full of shit.
Yeah. How dare you? I'm usually the one with the absolute gold on this.
Wait, Matt. How can you complain about me calling you full of shit?
Well,
how can you say "how dare you" when you've just been proven to be full of shit?
Right, hang on. I think I might have it. I think I might. Is this?
Oh my god.
Hang on.
I think I might have just written it.
That's
put it on the internet.
Like. There was a lot of typing going on there.
Right, okay. This was posted a year ago, and this person copied this link from the Xbox support website. Okay. And said,
right, okay.
No. Actually, I'll tell you. Okay, by the way, not
2016.
No, everyone shut up, right? Okay, the website is gamefacts.gamespot.com. So make of that what you will. And basically, I remember what happened now. I basically misread the information because
it was for games with gold, wasn't it?
No, it was Game Pass.
It was for it was for games with gold.
The question is if a game leaves Game Pass catalog, does the DLC get removed or can I still keep it? And it says the space is your space. Games will not be deleted from your hard drive until you want them gone, even if they've rolled out the Xbox Game Pass catalog. I sort of misread that as you still play them, but what it's saying is they remain on your hard drive. And we're not going to delete them.
Fucking hell, Matt. Right, James,
so it wasn't Games with Gold, or were you thinking about PS Now, were you, Matt? It wasn't that at all. It's Game
Matt's
Pass,
not
right?
doing the news ever. Go on. Okay, what's the next bit of feedback?
I don't do news. Like, that guy over there tries to do news.
Good. Well, don't have a go at him.
Is it good?
Don't have a go at him. Can't have a go at him.
Well, that's completely different to, like, why don't you read out the actual news story?
Okay, all right. If that's how you feel.
Well, no, it is, though. Admit that. His job is the news. He doesn't read the news out properly. I'm just a guy with a comment.
I'd rather him not read out the whole news
just make stuff
than
up.
Just make up news and then
What
say that
he does say is accurate. That's
and lie about his sources.
I don't know if it is always accurate.
Matt, you should know. You're reading the same Eurogamer pieces that I am.
Yeah, it's just James is reading them correctly.
Yeah.
Go on.
Well, no, he's not reading them at all, Dave. That's the trouble.
Go on. Next bit.
There was another big bit of clarification, and that's the whole licky boom boom down. Sean asked if it was sexual. I just instantly said yes. You know what? I read that information. Game Facts. They said that. Turns out it's not the case. Sean Thomas. Sure, you get 100 corrections on this. We did get about 50 odd. But I don't think A, the lyric is technically licky boom boom down, though it sounds like it is, and B, it's sexual. I believe it's lick as in lick a shot, and boom boom boom, boom boom down refers to being shot dead. Maybe God knows.
Licky boom boom boom.
God knows how I know this. Anyway, yes, so it's not sexual. It's about being shot.
It's actually about being shot, which is
okay. Fair enough.
No laughing matter.
Yeah,
certainly not, is it?
It's not about
Lick
licking
boom, boom
anuses.
down.
Because as we know, eating arse is hilarious, but getting shot, not so much.
Wow,
Okay.
that's quite the episode title, but I might go with
expect
it.
that to come from you, Sean, at all.
Finally.
Not well, James.
I always assumed he was asexual. Go on.
Are we leaving?
Go on, next bit of feedback.
Are we leaving? Okay, right. Scientologist wants an apology actually from you, James, for the scheduling blunder this week.
Oh, well, that, yeah.
So do you want
to... Well, no,
What's
because...
the scheduling blunder?
It's stream.
Well, I said that I'd do it on Saturday, and then I couldn't because I'd forgotten aspects of a birthday. And so therefore I couldn't do it.
What?
Which is what do we
What
know?
are the aspects of the birthday?
Didn't you see the tweet?
No.
Okay.
The great tweet that James put out, and then everyone's just ripping into him with the responses.
No, what was the tweet? What was it? I'm sure he said something in WhatsApp, but I've been distant recently. What did he say in the tweet?
I can't remember the exact wording, but basically it was just saying I couldn't do it because for birthday-related reasons, but I didn't want to elaborate beyond that.
Well, you can now.
Well, no, what happened, right, is I knew... Okay, so it happened... It's my daughter's birthday, again.
Yeah.
Like around
as we
this
know.
time.
Is this the birthday-related issue?
It is a birthday-related issue, and so what happened was I knew that her birthday party was on that day. Like I knew that was definitely happening, so I thought, well, that's okay. It's during the day. We're going to have some lovely laser tag and some crazy golf. Like
Oh my god, you played laser tag?
I didn't play it. Of course, I didn't play it. It's just the kids playing it, isn't it? It's like
What?
10-year-olds. I didn't want to get involved with that. But anyway,
That is the most disappointing day of all time. We're going to laser tag, but I'm not playing. That's awful.
well, yeah, for you maybe, but I wouldn't want to do that. Not Dave.
Why
I wouldn't want to
not?
play laser tag with a bunch of 10-year-olds
Why not?
because I just don't. Why would I want to do that?
Because it's laser tag, James.
Yeah, but it's not like paintball or something like that, is it? That's a lot more fun.
Oh, whatever.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not
Anyway.
a real man's pretend shooting game.
I didn't know it's still going. I've never done it.
Yeah, well, so anyway, they were doing that during the day, and I thought, that's fine, that's all okay. But I'd forgotten that there was also a sleepover component to this birthday party. And it was like my daughter, obviously, she had like her friends
James,
over.
I feel like that's something you've said like when you're on a date. Is there a sleepover component to this?
So anyway, I'd forgotten that had happened, and then I realised, obviously, I can't do the stream with like a load of 10-year-olds around me, because that would just be odd. And so I decided not to.
You're not supposed to be in the room with them.
But they would have been, because that's where all the VR stuff is.
Oh, right, okay, right. They want to play VR today. I can't believe you don't want to play laser tag. That is so alien to me. Like, the first thing I want to do is just get out there.
I wouldn't mind playing laser tag with a bunch of people of a similar age to myself, not with a load of 10-year-olds.
Why, James? It'd be easy
You're
pickings.
such an ageist prick.
James, you'd
I
absolutely
mean?
destroy them. That sounds brilliant.
Exactly.
See,
There's no chance.
And with the stream as well, like obviously very serious consent issues and the reasons he couldn't have done it. But what's funnier than James trying to do a VR stream with the chat
While there's a
ragging
party
on him?
going on.
A load of fucking 10-year-olds having a go at him while he's trying to do it.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
that would have been classic.
Yeah.
I understand why you didn't do that. I don't understand why you didn't play laser tag. I mean, that's so
Because
beyond
it's
my
with a bunch of
comprehension.
kids. I don't want to play laser tag with a bunch of
You
kids.
get run around and shoot them, and mate,
I can
fucking brilliant.
I can see where James is coming from, only because I know I would get really competitive, even though there are a load of children.
We
I'd
all
be that
know
guy.
that Sean would lose and be furious about it.
Well, if
We
this
all
was
saw
a real
your
war,
rankings at the
you'd be
go-kart.
fucked.
Go on. Well, it's the next bit of feedback.
Chris O'Regan, listening to David Turner's on the Computer Game Show chatting about Disco Elysium, and I've concluded Dave should not be let anywhere near a 20-sided dice. Are you okay with that, Dave?
No!
Are you okay with that?
Manage.
No!
Are you
I
going
really
to be able
want
to go on?
near a fucking dice. Oh, fuck. Next.
Rafi is back. You may remember Rafi from such services as Stadia. All right, guys. You might remember me giving James a code for 3 months of Stadia Pro. I'm saddened to hear James didn't enjoy his time with it, and rightfully so. The poor communication, the awful performance on Chrome browser, the complete lack of content, or any sort of future plans for the service is just abysmal. No idea how such a big company can cock it up so badly. Of course, I'm not keeping my subscription. I've already sold the Chromecast Ultra and the Stadia controller. Wow. I mean, how? When did that come out? It was obviously, was it November?
3 months ago, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I would have just kept it just on the odd chance it might get good, but you know.
I was going to say, because it's like Chromecast Ultra's worth having anyway, unless he's already got a streaming solution or whatever. But
anyway, but I have moved on to the next cloud gaming fad. No, not GeForce Now, although that does perform significantly better than Stadia. Nope, it's something called Shadow. It runs as a virtual desktop, which is capable of playing games, video editing, doing anything a PC can do. So you're not limited to a particular distribution service. I should get access to hardware and software in April. In fact, my partner decided she also wanted to get one to play PC games like Satisfactory. If I get any spare trial codes, I'll definitely let you guys know about it. Seeing James and Dave talk positively about GeForce Now, I wonder if Shadow interests you as a way to play an entire PC library of games. However, the monthly price for the service is a bit ridiculous at the moment. I think the last check is like 20 or 30 quid, but you do basically get like an absolute monster PC. And unlike things like GeForce Now, I think basically it's like your own dedicated machine.
Yeah,
does it run Windows as well? It's like a Windows machine basically you rent,
which is really interesting because like I've said before, we've had emails saying, but Stadia could like basically turn a lot of PC gamers because they don't need a PC anymore. It's like, but my PC's worth, like, yes, it plays games, but it's worth the investment because I also do streams on it and photo editing, and audio stuff, whatever. Like, it's loads of stuff that Stadia can't do, whereas. Yeah, if this was, I don't know how well it would work, but if this was
you couldn't do streams on it, could you?
Actually, yeah, of course. Yeah,
there's too much hardware
streaming through something which is also streaming to you.
This Shadow thing, it's like 15 quid a month if you want like full HD, and you get the equivalent of like a GTX 1080, all the way up to 50 quid a month. That's available 2021. You get like basically the most beefy PC of all time. You get a terabyte of storage, 30 gig RAM. Titan RTX, it's insane, but 50 quid a month for that, you might as well
for me, GeForce sounds more appealing because it's not my main way of playing games. So to sort of just play it every now and then, GeForce, is it GeForce?
Yeah. GeForce Now.
GeForce. Yeah, GeForce Now is it just seems like the happy middle ground, and you're not playing too much. So yeah, I don't see that as a solution for me personally, but I'm sure it will be for other people.
Have you guys have you got more thoughts on GeForce Now this week, or are you going to save that for later?
It's been slightly rougher this week, I'd say. I don't know if you've noticed that, James.
No, it's been I've not played as much as I wanted to, but it's been generally the same. I've not really found anything weird about it.
Yeah, I found the quality gone down a couple of nights, but nothing too bad. I do think that maybe actually it's a little bit more unplayable to play fast pace action games or than I originally thought based on this past week. But no, I'm still using it most nights and enjoying it.
And the fact is, it's free, isn't it? So
yeah, we're playing we're doing the premium service, so I don't know what the free version's like, but I'm a little bit disappointed that a few games that I wanted to play aren't available on it. So I wanted to play that you mentioned in WhatsApp today, Matt, the was it Split or Still game that everyone's raving about. I wanted to try that, but that's not available on it yet. So
it's out on Steam then. I assume that's just an online thing.
Yeah, no, it's out on Steam.
Oh, okay, right.
It's and it's free to play, but for those of you that haven't heard about it, they've tried to turn the Split or Still game from Golden Balls into a proper full video game. And that interests me, but I don't know how they could possibly do it, because the whole point of that game is that it's a one and done thing, whereas this has got different tiers of you playing the same.
It does sound quite cool, the things they're talking about on the Giant Bombcast.
It does, but yeah, it obviously takes a lot of the tension out of why that mode was so good or that what do they call it, a game round from Golden Balls. It's it's going to lose that tension a little bit, but I don't know. I was willing to give it a go, but it's not available.
What other games have you tried to play on it that don't work?
Nothing at the moment. I should give it more of a test, but I'm still plugging my way through Disco Elysium. I'm sure before my trial's up, I'll be trying other games just to see what the service is like. But at the moment, I'm
right
just
now,
sticking it
so
out.
obviously you get like a 90-day free trial. Right now, can you see yourself like paying the $5.99 a month after that? 90
I
days?
can see myself doing it every now and then. You know what I mean? Instead of doing it like and letting it roll for several months, I could see you guys raving about a game on Steam, or us getting code for a game on Steam that I wouldn't be able to play normally, and just saying, okay, for 1 month, I will pay £5 to play this game. You know, it just makes
that's
so much
perfect
sense
for that,
to me
really.
like that. Yeah, it really is. So, I'm sure I'll be using it on and off, but I won't be using it as a rolling thing because I don't play enough PC games to justify it.
Yeah, and I guess basically if you then think, okay, well, I won't pay it, but I'll just play the free version, and if that starts to annoy you with like the queues and stuff, you can easily think, well, you know, the game's on it works, I'll pay the £5. At least you can try out on the free version, which is good.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Steve Donald with the subject line, is David Tuna rubbish? Not anymore. When David Turner, I assumed it was a typo, when David Turner returned to the show, I tweeted to you that I thought this would be a massive mistake for the show. The email ends there. So thank you. Oh, no, there's more. I can now say I was wrong. The new David Turner that came back to the show has been excellent. I find myself now siding with him on most points of discussion and laughing at his humour, something I never thought would be possible. Have I changed or has he? Who knows? Just know that I listen to about a dozen gaming-related podcasts a week, and the Computer Game Show is top of the list. Thank you. I think full Nels may be on the cards for me in the future. Thanks for your efforts, Steve.
You've changed. I haven't changed.
I don't think Dave's any different.
Just realised that you've just discovered my talent. So that's it.
He's an acquired taste,
really
nice. Dave. He's,
I am.
It's like coffee. It's like sometimes,
I was about to say that. I was about to say exactly the same thing. You know, the first time you have coffee and you're like, ugh. and then you're like, actually, this is fucking brilliant. And then you're like, actually, this is the best.
See, for me, it's more like it is disgusting, but I just need it sometimes.
It's more like you tolerate
Otherwise,
it,
people won't care about me. We know, Sean. We know.
You know, Sean, out of all the streams, you know, Deep Sean, all the other things you've done, like you downing a coffee on that Bell's Kitchen is still one of the best moments for me. It's like, how? You're drinking it how?
You see, that's great, because to me, that wasn't even, I wasn't trying to do a funny bit. That's just how I drink.
It's such a shame you did it off camera. It's like you're too embarrassed to show us you
Have
downing
you
a
noticed
shot.
there that we got an email from someone praising me, and Matt tried to quickly turn the praise onto someone else? Like,
That's
I mean,
true.
instantly, within seconds. But no, jokes aside, thanks. It's nice to know that you don't hate me anymore. That's nice, isn't it? It's usually the other way round. It's usually David's gone, oh, David's shit. Well, you go onto forums and stuff. It's like, well, I can't listen to that fucking prick. So it's nice to get the other way round once in a while. It's nice, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, laughing at his humour, something I never thought would be possible. That's it for follow-up and feedback. It's at Computer Game Pod on Twitter. Or you can email podcast at computergameshow.com.
Oh, you can do that. Let's do news. Go on.
Okay, I mean, it's been a bit of a rubbish week, isn't it?
Well, you tell us, James.
I mean, there's no games.
I don't know.
Can we just call this episode dry? Let's just call it dry.
There's no games and there's no news hardly at all. So, but there are some things that we can talk about.
I don't think there is a lot of news.
There are some things.
Matt,
there's no news,
in...
but there are things that we could talk about that has happened in the gaming industry this week.
I know, but
What's
it's
the difference,
just,
James?
The stuff that Matt's put in is just... I mean, he put in stuff here, and I wasn't entirely happy about it. Because it is basically a press release again. You know, it's just like, this is happening, no one knows what it is.
Just delete it then.
Yeah, just don't read it out.
You know, it's just...
No, James, just don't read it out, it's fine.
Right.
When did you decide that you didn't want to upset him? Was it when you were trawling through his achievements to see if he completed a game?
Yeah.
Or or was it when you lied to him about not playing Death Stranding just so you could sort of...
No, it wasn't that story. It was a different one. It's yeah. So anyway,
okay.
So anyway, Nintendo is still going to be at E3. So I think everyone's obviously delighted about that. The reason this is a big deal...
Wasn't there rumours... the reason why this is news is wasn't there rumours doing around that they were pulling out?
Yeah, because what happened was there was a draft of E3's like website appeared like online, and it had like this incomplete list of publishers that were going to be there, and Nintendo weren't on the list. And so this sparked the gossip that they weren't going to show up and they were going to do a Sony and not bother. But then,
and to be clear, this is talking about the show floor.
Yeah,
it's not like we're going to get a stage thing. People seem to get that mixed up a little bit. So it's good to be clear about that. But yeah, they are talking about having a presence on the show floor, and that would also indicate that there's probably going to be a direct during that weekend as well, or during that week. So, yep.
And then after that, it was just after that then Jeff Keighley came out and said that he wasn't going to be bother attending the event. And I mean, do you want to hear his statement?
Go on.
Okay, so it said that he decided not to attend because of a combination of reasons. He said, "I don't really feel comfortable participating given what I know about the show as of today."
And what is that about?
I don't know. I mean, he said the ESA are trying to refocus the show, and they've said a highlight will be the debut of an all-new floor experience that will be streamed to bring exclusive conversations with leading industry innovators and creators to attendees and fans worldwide. The ESA statement, and so this is like what they've said, and so this sounds like it's quite similar to what Jeff Keighley's done in the past, because he doesn't do that E3 Coliseum thing, which is basically the same thing. So I guess they've just decided they're going to do it, and he's not interested. And
I mean, the only thing that wound me up about this, right? Firstly, all right, it was a big part of E3, so I get why he's come out with a statement. So I'm not going to dig him out for that. But if you're going to say so. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just don't give it all this. I don't understand that.
No, but he's not going to burn bridges,
problem,
is he?
just say it.
Well, he has.
We know that there's a problem, so he's already hinting at.
Why allude
something
to it if you're not going to?
No.
If you're not going to burn bridges, just say, I'm not going to do it this year. I'm a bit sad. It's the first year I'm not doing it for a while, but I'm not going to be there. That's it. That's all you need to do. But he's like, due to the things that I've heard today, I am not going to attend. And it's like, okay, right, what? Oh, well, I'm not going to say. Why? Because, you know what I mean? I can only assume it's a legal thing.
He's putting weight behind it to make sure the ESA know that he's not happy. If he just said, I'm not doing it, then they're like, this is him actually saying, look, clearly he's not happy with how E3 is going. He's not going to throw anyone under the bus, but he's just getting a message out there that he's not happy, and hopefully that will maybe
he also said this. He also
make changes.
He also said, this certainly wasn't an easy decision to make, but I think it's the right one for me, and I wanted fans to know before tickets go on sale. I mean, who the fuck is this guy? Sorry, but that's insane.
No, that is quite funny. I don't want people buying tickets for my Coliseum when it's no longer my Coliseum.
I've already booked the flights and the hotel.
Just because of
to meet
Keighley.
Big Jeff.
It's,
Matt, I asked you to announce that you weren't going to be at E3. Did you do that?
I wrote it all. I spent ages writing it, and I thought basically it wasn't fun enough, and sort of lost. There's no point.
Oh, right.
Classic, know the feeling.
All right then. Should we move on?
Well, I could say he has given out like an olive branch. Do you want to hear that quote that he said?
Yeah, let's hear this quote.
So he said, "I'm always open to conversations with game publishers and partners about ways to evolve how we come together for industry events. No matter what, it's really important that we get together, get everyone to participate in these events. That's something I look forward to doing at places like Gamescom and the Game Awards." Yeah,
right. So we know what's happened. ESO invited a publisher out for dinner or something, and they've said no, you're right, Jeff. And he's just thrown a paddy about it, and he read that again, right? Read that quote again, but imagine he's just received an email from Hideo Kojima saying, "Nah, not this year, mate. I'm a little bit busy." Right, read it out.
Really? Do you want me to do it?
Do it. Right. But just imagine he's just received that email from Kojima.
"I'm always open to conversations with game publishers and partners about ways to evolve how we come together for industry events. No matter what, it's really important that we get everyone to participate in these events. That's something I look forward to doing at places like Gamescom and the Game Awards." Is that right?
There we go. He's been stood up. Stood up.
Yes,
Mystery
well
solved.
And truly.
Yeah. Okay, should we move on to the next news story?
So, also, it seems that expensive components are driving up the PS5's production costs to $450 per unit. So, what this is
how do people know this?
I don't know.
Inside sources.
Yeah,
but I saw the headlines everywhere, and I was like, how the fuck do they know?
Well, they probably know because of whatever they've been purchasing from like supply chains and stuff.
Oh yeah, I suppose haven't they announced the specs for the thing?
Yeah,
So they could just look up at what the average prices are.
Yeah.
What's the reason for the increase, James?
Apparently, it's because of components for heat dissipation, and this is like they've invested in like higher end components for this, like presumably so that it doesn't sound like the PS4 does, and
doesn't overheat and blow up.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So
But
I mean,
say the units. Say if the units are $450, that's what they're saying to make.
to manufacture, yeah.
Just to manufacture. Then they've got shipping, packing.
Yeah.
I mean, does that include the controller and the wires and shit?
Yeah,
I know
I think
that's
so.
a lot cheaper.
But you
An
also-
HDMI cable
No,
is
no,
just
it's valid.
freaking out.
If you compare it to the PS4 had like launched at $399, like in the US, and apparently the cost to make that was $381, like per unit. So
Wait, sorry. $381 to create a unit. How much do they sell it for?
$399.
Wow, that's a sweet
So
$18.
they must have been making a
profit.
massive no profit.
Yeah.
No profit.
Well, they never do like in the first couple of years, do they? That's the whole
But
thing.
that is a big loss as well, because you think the amount of money for marketing. Obviously, marketing's a different thing, but you've then got shipping, as I say, packaging, storage. Fuck me.
Yeah.
I didn't realise it was that tight.
So yeah, because I thought the days of, you know, like it used to be, like you say, very common for, especially initially, like consoles to be sold at a loss. I thought those days were behind us now. I thought everyone was pretty tight, but
So did I, and I'm not convinced that any of these figures are correct. To be honest with you, I'm not having a pop at you, James. I'm not calling you out. What I'm saying is that I think there's a lot of hearsay and rumor and headline making going on here.
It comes. I mean,
I'm not saying that there's not an issue. There could definitely be an issue here, but I'm not convinced by these figures really.
I mean, it comes from what's called it's a market intelligence firm that's called IHS Market. They're the ones that did like the PS4, where they estimate the manufacturing costs. I mean, they do the same sort of thing with iPhones and stuff. You know, where they can work it out based on the supply chain, so not what's been ordered and stuff.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's some evidence to back up their claims or whatever.
But they can't know for
I'm
sure,
just
yeah.
what I'm saying. I suppose what I'm saying is that ultimately, I don't think you can link this to retail price. I don't think there's too much involved here to go from a simple headline like that.
The speculation is that, I mean, and this is from Games Industry, and they said like one source to them said that the price will really depend on what the Xbox retail price is, and they'll kind of react off that because they're expecting that they're going to release the Xbox Series X price like at E3, and then presumably after that they'll release the PlayStation 1, which I'd imagine they'll try to ensure is cheaper, as they did with the PS4 and the Xbox One. They're not going to announce it at this February event that they're definitely happening, Matt, no?
Yeah, just 12 days. Or...
I don't think they'll announce the price. It's too early. It's especially if I think they're going to wait.
They're not going to have the event, James. This is the joke.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. I'm holding off judgment on any of that stuff until it gets announced. But one thing that I was interested in, like, say the consoles are coming out in October. I'd love to know when they have to start producing these.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they actually start putting them all together.
that's true, because they must already have warehouses full, well in advance.
But,
So,
I know, but how far in advance? That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's
Well, with it all being
I'd love to know all that
PC
shit.
components, it's probably a bit different, isn't it? Like, it's not like before where they had to like build loads of custom silicon and stuff. It's just
True.
Well, no, but they still have to build loads of custom cases and
yeah, that's true.
get all. It's not like they're just sticking them together into like a
box.
I don't know. It's.
We don't
I'd
know.
love to know more about that process in the lead up to a launch to a console
It's
in this
got
day
to
and
be
age.
like months and months in advance, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's
I mean,
gotta
like,
be, right?
iPhones are they're saying like a 2-month. I'm sure they start producing things like 2 or 3 months before, and they sell millions. I mean, it's very hard to say though.
Yeah, but a lot of that stuff they don't
Okay.
change, do they? Like packaging and all that kind of stuff doesn't really massively change, does it?
That's true.
Who the fuck knows?
Yeah, I mean, this whole thing, like, I fully expected like PS3s and previous consoles to be expensive because, as you said, James, that they're using like custom silicon, the Emotion Engine, or whatever. But now, with this being mostly PC parts, I expect that to be like a lot cheaper. But the fact it's still potentially $450 a unit is interesting. But it must, to me, that does say that they were some custom bits that you can't get off the shelf anywhere else. But I mean, surely, I've been sort of in my mind thinking, okay, it'll be around $499. Surely they won't go north of 500. Surely,
who knows? So I think if we're talking prices for a second, I think Microsoft can go higher because if they pitch it
not
as
again, they can't do it again. They got burnt so bad.
Yeah, but their focus on what they're selling is different, and if they can say, actually, you can get the X, which does fucking hell, the Xbox One X that does the same thing essentially, just not as well as the Series X, then they could go with a 2-tier system again. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It's not totally out of the question. It's just the only issue they've got with that is consumer communication, where they've got to then deter away from the whole "this is the next generation" thing, because that's if Sony go ahead with that stance, then obviously people are going to be more like the hardcore gamer are going to be more interested in sort of next gen than they are an improved current gen.
Yeah. I'd be really surprised if the PlayStation 5 ends up being more expensive than the Xbox for the next generation, because
Microsoft can afford to undercut. So for one thing, I don't think Microsoft will unveil the price before Sony. I feel like they will just play chicken. I think they both can play chicken, but I think they'll delay it as long as possible. I also think with Microsoft money and them more banking on services, I think they could also say, oh, actually, it's 300 quid, it's 350 or something. If these rumors are to be true, and obviously Microsoft probably know more about this sort of stuff internally with their contacts than any sort of reporters do, so they probably have a great idea about.
There's no way they're going to launch it for 300 quid.
But I can see, they're not going to make the stupid decision that they did last time and release a console for more than the Sony equivalent. They're not. If they did that, it'll be suicide. But I can see them saying, actually, we'll do it for a price, and it's almost like, there you go, Sony, you're going to make the PS5 $350, or because everyone in their minds, everyone's probably thinking, oh, it'd be very expensive this generation, very expensive.
Yeah,
so imagine actually, 300 quid, bang, there you go. It's like that could be a lot for Sony to deal with.
You're right, that would be quite fucking good because they could make it up on their
and
services.
they're also more to gear towards services. So if they lose a bit on the console, doesn't really matter. It'd be. The alternative is...
They'd be losing a lot, though.
Yeah, but the alternative is that they announce the price first, it's high, Sony undercut them, and then Microsoft to go announce a price drop before the console's even out. That's like you on shaky ground. I would say they're going to either do it late and they're going to wait for Sony, or they're going to say E3, it'd be like a price that we are not expecting, because everyone has in their heads it's going to be very, very expensive this generation. And that's just people just assume that from the components and the power of these consoles that's been reported. But if Microsoft come out and said, actually, and it's like a much cheaper price,
I'd love for that to be the case. I can't quite see it, but we'll see. We'll see.
I just can't. I cannot see them making the same mistake again and releasing console for more than the Sony equivalent. No way. That'd be insane.
Matt, do you want to do a bet?
We've not had one of these for a while.
Do I bet that?
Because I would bet you that the PlayStation is going to be cheaper than the Xbox. Like for the next. I'll bet you that.
Yeah, I'll take that bet.
Right. Okay. Let's get this sorted. Right. So we're talking retail launch.
Yep.
Yeah. Or the price they announce. What are we going with?
I mean, it'll be the same thing, won't it?
Not necessarily. You've already mentioned that Microsoft could lower their price.
Oh, right, okay. So you're thinking the ones they announced at some event versus day one price.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I'm thinking day one price.
James, you happy with that?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not so sure about that, because I'm not sure if Microsoft would react or something, and cut the price, but they probably wouldn't. That's more risky. Okay. I'd rather do it was for the announced price. I think would be. You
would rather, but are we going with day one price?
Well, day one price has to be fair.
Okay, is it day one UK price?
Day one UK price, yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the fun bit: stakes. Because we said last time we're not doing an app bet. Fuck that. Let's proper.
Right. Matt, I will pay for 1 year of Game Pass Ultimate or whatever for you.
Whoa!
No, it's got to be
James,
something better than that.
2022. Don't worry about that. No, let's do 50
How
quid.
about Matt has to wear a Brighton shirt on a stream?
I'm not doing that. No, let's do 50 quid.
50 quid.
No, the money's boring. We need something for the listeners. We need something for the listeners.
James has to get an Anthem tattoo.
Matt has to get a Google Stadia one.
No tattoo. I'm not doing that.
No tattoo.
No tattoo.
Okay. Okay. Right, we're gonna have to think of that. Maybe listeners can suggest over the next week. Yeah. So we need forfeits for who's going to lose this bet. This bet's happening. So come up with your ideas, and we'll pick some good ones.
So to clarify, the bet is that it's the UK day one price of these consoles. I believe Microsoft will be cheaper than the PS5, and James thinks the PS5 will be cheaper than the Series X. Are we doing Series X or are we just doing Xbox? What are we doing?
No, don't start that shit, Matt. You're not wriggling out of this.
If we're just doing day one consoles, we haven't seen the full breadth of what can come out.
Actually, no, we have got a problem with this. What if it is multiple
Sean
consoles?
and I will decide.
Yeah,
Sean and I will decide. We're the adjudicators in this situation. I've
got another thing actually. Like, when Apple release a new iPhone, they often then keep the previous one on sale but reduce it. Couldn't you see them saying, Series X out today, Series X, 1X is now like 150 or 200 quid?
Well, if you listen to me for 5 fucking seconds, that's exactly what I said just a moment ago.
Oh, did you?
They would use the Xbox One X as their lower tier.
Yeah.
That's what I can see them doing.
And given that, everything we know about xCloud and stuff, like it seems to that their main thing is just getting people in the ecosystem. I think they'd be more than happy if people see the price of the Series X and go, oh fuck it, I'll just get a 1X instead then. If that's still new people coming on board.
Oh my god, you know what I've just thought? They are literally. Do you remember when Don Matrick? This is the ultimate fuck you to Don Matrick. Because do you remember when everyone was like, "I don't want an Xbox One"? Well, then we suggest you get a 360. I mean, they will actually get away with saying the exact same thing for the next gen consoles. Look, if you don't want a Series X, get a 1X. Oh yeah, no, that is quite a good proposition. Don's just crying at home. So at Computer Game Pod with your suggestions with what they should do if they lose, Matt or James. I want to hear it.
Or you can email podcast@computergameshow.com if you're not on Twitter.
That's another way you can contact us, isn't it? Right, next news story.
Okay, Microsoft have begun testing xCloud for iOS. So this
has anyone taken them up on this? Because the website was crashed when I was trying to register for it.
Well, did
you get in, Matt?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I was
already registered to try it on Android, but I've got an Android phone, but I've got an iPad, and I'd rather use it on the iPad. So I've gone in my account and I've switched it to iOS, but I still need to wait for an email, which I have not had. So,
right, okay. Matt, have you got any closer to using it?
I've started up Halo, but I'm just playing on the phone. But I haven't connected my controller because last time I connected my PlayStation pad to my phone, it seems to like fuck up the pad, and so I haven't done it yet. But
okay.
But yeah, it's just anyway. But no, James, did you get it?
No, I didn't. I tried, but I couldn't get into it, and it's because they only had 10,000 spaces, and also you can only play one game, which is the Master Chief Collection. Which I guess they're just trying it at the moment, but there's nothing else.
That's a shame because there's loads on the Android one.
No, well, it would probably cut all this bit. Probably cut it. Right, next news story.
Well, this is another one. I mean, Microsoft and Samsung are partnering for Xbox cloud-based game streaming. I mean, this is a non-story. All it is that they're going to be working together, although there's no details about how they're working together, apart from the fact that Forza Street is coming out exclusively for Galaxy mobile devices.
That's the app version, right, that they brought out. That's the mobile game, yeah.
But then there is not any other details apart from what this deal actually means. I mean, presumably it just means that xCloud will work on Samsung phones. So there you go.
I wonder if it means that actually it's free with Samsung devices.
No way.
I mean, I'm a Samsung boy, so I'd be quite happy with that. But yeah, it seems unlikely.
There's no way they'd do that. What would they get out of that?
Well, they've suddenly got millions of people using it who might buy DLC or I don't know, think actually I want the console experience at home. This is fine on my phone, but this is quite cool. I might get a console instead. I don't know. Or...
So you're saying if I bought a second-hand Samsung device, I can get...
No, is it just like when you buy like a brand new Apple device, you're getting a year of Apple TV Plus? It'll be like that sort of thing.
Yeah, maybe like a 6-month thing or something like that. That would make sense. But I don't know. Maybe it comes pre-installed or something. I don't know. But we don't know. I don't know. Go on.
Great insight.
All right.
What do you want me to say?
Well, exactly.
You can't say, well, we don't know. Like that's what I'm supposed to chat about.
That's why this story is ridiculous, because it's
it's giving us nothing to go on. Matt.
I know.
I mean, okay.
It was this Matt's one that you put in.
This is Matt's one.
Right. Don't get involved
in the news anymore,
Matt. I just wanted to add it on
to the previous one because I thought it was
Don't get involved in the news. Nah, no more news for Matt. Okay, go on.
Well, at least this one wasn't made up. It's real.
Go on.
Half-Life Alyx has got a release date. It's coming on the 23rd of March.
I thought it already had a release date. Okay, cool. So 23rd of March, that's not too far away, Matt. Matt, are you excited?
Yeah, I'm psyched as hell.
How are you going to play it? Have you worked that out yet?
Well, I'm gonna get the Quest back. So you can play it on Quest, can't you?
Yeah, but how? You've got to get that cable, right? Isn't it like a really expensive cable?
Yeah, if you want to buy the official one, it's like 80 or 90 quid.
There are unofficial ones, assuming
they're
work.
They're not as long, so
and they're still like 40 quid. I mean, I imagine what's going to happen is Matt and I are going to go halves on the cable, and then I'll just try. I mean, how do we know how long Alyx is going to be?
They say it's like it's a full length game. Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Oh, 15 hour experience.
Yeah,
okay, so I can smash that in a week and then send the quest over. So
but Matt's not interested if he's not there day one. So how are we going to deal with that?
Oh, that's true.
Sean and I have to fight about it.
Just come over. We'll have a sleepover.
All it is like a standard USB-C cable, but for whatever reason, no one's made one that's longer than like 10 meters or 10 feet.
Well, you say that. I tried every USB-C cable I've got in the house, and it's every one of them. It's just like it's not good enough. You need the official cable. Yeah, so there must be something special.
Wow. Could you not just go out? Go to Sean's for the weekend, and then we set up a camera. We don't get to see on Twitch, right? You don't get to see the gameplay. Just you two, just like taking it to you both complete it in those 2 days, but we just get to see you just like moving about for 15 hours straight. I'd watch that.
We're not even being able to talk to each other because one of us has got the headphones in.
Yeah, and
the other one's just spoilers. And the other one's just like, I wonder what he's doing now.
Like Isaac, just like walking around in the background, like.
Matt, are you crying? Oh no, someone just died, Matt. No one's died.
I'd watch that. Okay, cool. Next.
Okay, this is the last one. I mean, this is GeForce Now, because they've had to pull the Activision Blizzard games that were on there. So what it turned out that Nvidia didn't actually get permission to keep the games on the service after launch. Like they were part of the beta in the same way that EA was and all those companies, and then they didn't. Yeah, they did. They just didn't take them off when they should have done, and now it's all been removed. And apparently, it was a misunderstanding. So that's not really great. It says, do you want to hear the statement from Nvidia?
Yeah, go on.
They said, Activision Blizzard has been a fantastic partner during the GeForce Now beta, which we took to include the free trial period for our founders' members. Then it says, recognising the misunderstanding, we removed their games from our service. We hope we can work with them to re-enable these and more in the future. And
they're definitely not going to.
Nah.
Because why would they get them to remove them now? It's not like they're selling the game, so they'll be losing. Like Blizzard, they're not losing a cut of the money. Yeah. It's Steam anyway, or whatever you get their games from. They're doing their own thing, aren't they?
Well, they're either that. I mean, they've done a deal with Google recently, didn't they? Although apparently that isn't going to mean this is all going on Google Stadia. I think it's much more likely they're probably going to do their own service because they've already got stuff like Battle.net and all that, haven't they? Which they could probably do something with to make it into like some cloud gaming thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a shame because a service that I think would be quite handy for a lot of people is being limited more and more by these sort of deals. But what can you do? They don't want their game on that service, then that's the way it goes sometimes, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
That's it. That's all the news.
Right. We've only got a few games to talk about this week. I mean, Matt, you've been carrying on with it. Was your Sekiro stream just a little bit better this week? Less angry?
Slightly less angry, yeah. No, actually, much less angry.
Right. Good. That's good. That's good to hear. And you're planning to get that done this week, here?
This year, yeah.
And I've continued with Disco Elysium, and I've there was part of me today thinking, actually, don't talk about it again. Just wait until you fully played it. But I think documenting what I'm thinking about it as I'm playing it is not the worst thing to do. So just a quick note to say, I am still really, really enjoying that game. But I do think it has some pacing issues. I don't know if you felt that. I know you really love this, Sean. And pacing issues is not a deal breaker, is it? I mean, there's games that I love that have either quiet moments or, moments that I wasn't as into, don't feel quite as good. But I really am struggling with the pace of this. And I think it's down to two things. One, the sort of time mechanic of the days don't seem to go at the same pace throughout each day, if you know what I mean.
No, definitely
and
not.
The other being, there's a lot of side quests that aren't as interesting, but have a lot of different moments in them where it's kind of like, oh, when you get to this place, you can look into this more. And it's like, it feels like a lot of these side quests, it would be nice if they wrapped up earlier than they do. Because it's kind of like I'm getting no satisfaction at the moment. Every time I hit a new story beat in the main quest, it's fantastic. You know what I mean? And I get excited about what's happening next and what I've discovered. Like finding out, for example, about the crashed car was just a brilliant moment.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
It's
that's
a
great.
great moment, right? And the stuff you get after that is really good as well. But there's loads of bits where it's kind of like I've got loads of side quests and they've all stopped, and it feels like I have to wait until later to get back on. But by that time, they're not as interesting as the main quest, so I'm not feeling that excitement about going back to that side quest.
Dave,
so
I've got exactly the same thing. At
Really?
the moment, I feel like I just keep picking up new side quests, like tons of them, like wherever I go, but nothing seems to progress. Like it seems to be, I'm sort of just picking new things up, but I don't seem to have the option to go any further with anything. But then I had a breakthrough later this evening, and it got better again. But
yeah, but that's it, isn't it? And I'm reluctant to really say that at this point because the last 10 hours or whatever, all this stuff gets wrapped up, then we all know what pace is like. You have to look at it in context of the full thing, right? And, by the time I get to the end of it, all that build-up might be worth it. But right now, it's kind of like, because you asked me in the week, James, where do you feel with the voting? Of that last, because the last vote we had on the Game of the Year show was, would you vote for Life is Strange 2 or Disco Elysium? And I hadn't played it at the time. And right now, I think I'd still go Life is Strange 2.
Really?
So I'm hoping, yeah, because I feel like there was at no point during those 5 episodes did I think, oh, just come on now.
Yeah.
Or I thought, well, I hit a brick wall where I was kind of like, it's losing my interest a little bit. Whereas I've had this a few times in this. But then, as you said, James, the literally last thing I did was discover that car. And I just thought, wow, okay, right, brilliant. I can't wait to get back into it. So it's a funny thing. And I think if the build-up of all that stuff pays off, then yeah, fine. You don't look back at those moments and think, oh, it's really, it really could have done with more here. But if it fails to do that, then I think I'm not going to dislike the game. There's no chance of me disliking this game because I'm loving it. But it's stopping me from going crazy about it like you guys did, if you know what I mean.
The pace.
Does that make sense? Is that fair?
Yeah, the pacing is a bit of an issue because I remember back when Matt and I first talked about it. So I guess I had the opposite problem to you in that I was fine up until I actually, towards the end of the game, started running out of side quests. and the only main story things I had left to do were like really hard skill checks, and I wanted to.
Oh god, that sucks.
Yeah, and I wanted to get a few more points in my skills before trying them, and opportunities to do so were just getting thinner and thinner. So I had a bit of a stumbling block there. So yeah, the pacing is a weird one.
But you don't know which skill checks are for the main quest, do you? Because obviously I've got so many skill checks that are left that I need to either retry or try for a first time. But I can't tell which ones are essential and which ones aren't.
I think it was basically just by process of elimination, because I'd been doing everything I could. So I was like, right, well, these like 3 that I've got left must be like pretty essential to the story, because there was just like so little else to do at that point.
Fucking hell, I've got so many. Although, to be fair, day 2 in that game has been a lot better for me.
Yeah.
I've been clearing a lot more skill checks, so I'm quite happy about that.
The general feeling of, doing better, because, obviously at the same time you're piecing this guy's life back together, so that by the end you feel like a competent detective almost. And it's like, obviously it's you improving and improving your skills, but also this like getting this guy back on his feet, It's nice.
Yeah. I mean, I like that aspect of it. I really like that aspect of it. And each revelation has been interesting. Yeah. It's just, I hate moments in games where I just kind of think, oh god, fuck, I can't be fucked. Yeah. And I've had that a few times in this, which is a bit of a shame. Mm-hmm. But there you go. We'll see. Still a long way to go on that one. And I probably won't mention it now until I've completed it, because what's the point?
What day are you on? Sorry, day 3.
Day 3. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I just started day 4.
I think about halfway through. I guess it feels about halfway through. I've done most of the stuff that it originally sets up, but then. Yeah, obviously it's hard to explain without spoiling it, as we've said a million times before, but maybe I'll have a quick chat with you after the show.
It's weird, isn't it? Because some of the side missions I found interesting, but a couple I found I just really don't care about some of them. It's the the cryptozoologists. I couldn't care less about that story.
Oh, no, I like that story.
We see, right, no, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything. Not going to say anything.
I also did something shocking, I think, like earlier on, and I was thinking about it earlier on, like after I'd done it, and just thinking, why did I do that? I was thinking it's one of those things where if we do a spoiler cast thing, it's just going to be like, oh, I don't want to talk about that because it's awful. Like I realised what I did, but never mind.
I've been playing as a bit of a dick, so
no, this is worse.
You might be right.
Terrible. I feel. I still feel bad.
All right, okay, all right, fine. So that was it for me, really. I've been playing a little bit more Rocket League, a little bit more Halo, but who wants to hear me talk about that anymore? Sean, have you got anything?
I've got a couple. One's really quick. Well, they're both pretty quick. But so the first one is Over the Alps. This is an Apple Arcade game. It's been worked on by, I believe, some people from Fail Better Games, who did Sunless Seas and Sunless Skies, which I've not played, but apparently they're amazing. And also some of the people who worked on 80 Days, the sort of choose your own adventure.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
And it's one of those, but it's a really nice one. You're a British spy. In Switzerland in the 1940s, 39, I think, because the Second World War is like just kicking off, and just having a bit of a bodge around being a spy in the Alps, and just.
So when you say bodge around, because obviously 80 Days was just very text based.
It's that basically. It's like really beautiful artwork, like really nice backdrops and stuff, but it's. The sort of conceit is that you're this spy who's writing to a friend of his, like he's sending postcards to a mate back in Britain, right? And that's how so the way the story's portrayed is like he'll start a new postcard, and his mate's called Aubrey, so it's like, Jesus Christ, Aubrey, you'll never believe what happened today, but starts writing stuff, and then your like choices that you make. So say you've got like 3 different options about what you did next. They'll have like different stamps, and the different stamps sort of denotes like different types of behaviour. Like one's aggressive, one's stealthy, one's gentlemanly, or whatever. And it's just making choices. There's some really interesting characters. Some of them really fuck you about. Some are decent. Just some really nice twists in the story. finished it in a couple of hours and had a nice time. And it's on Apple Arcade, so it didn't cost me. Well, it did cost me $5 a month, but you know.
Nice.
What I mean? Yeah, really like that.
So is there anything else on Apple Arcade that you kind of think, I need to get to now?
There's, I mean, without
it has
looking...
gone very quiet. It's gone very lukewarm on that stuff, hasn't it? People are not raving about it anymore.
It's not been... Considering how many games it launched with, there's been one new game a week, if that. And they've not been
there's still a lot, though, isn't it?
Well, this is it. There's still loads. I'm sure there are. But yeah, it's not been thick and fast, to say the least.
Do you still see yourself paying for it every month and just keeping it going?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, until I fully run out. I still need to have I've had 10 minutes on. Is it Mutazioni? Which everyone says is really good. Again, it's another sort of point and click adventure type one. Apparently, that's great. There's a one called Shinsekai beneath something under the depths.
That was asked how to launch. There's also Lego Builders. My sub just ran out when that came out, but people were raving about that as like a neat little puzzle game.
Yeah. There's still a good few worth looking at. The only problem is now when people recommend an iOS game that I'm actually supposed to pay money for, I'm like, don't know.
yeah.
But so the other one I've been playing. I mean, I've been chipping away at Final Fantasy 14, but nothing to report there really. I haven't played Surviving Mars, but I did have a fever dream about it. That was good.
I love that shit.
I'm sure I've said on the show before that all my fever dreams are about impossible organizational tasks. And this was right, we need you to build a fucking pipeline from one side of Mars to the other, and that was and I had that thing where I woke up and I was still thinking about it, and then I had to be no, it's not fucking real. Fucking hell!
I love those dreams. I mean, where in the dream you're nervous or worried or anxious, and you wake up, you're like, oh, thank God, it was just a dream. I didn't lose that expensive video camcorder or whatever I had a dream about in the 80s.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's such a weird feeling as well, isn't it? The whole.
It's such a relief.
Yeah.
Thank God. Yeah.
Usually,
bizarre.
I'm not at school anymore. Don't have to do homework. Fucking hell. The other game I've been playing mainly is Kunai. This has come out on Switch. I think it's out on PC as well. So it's 2D platformer. The combat pretty much stolen wholesale from Hollow Knight, but if you're going to steal from the best. So you're a tablet, as in a computer tablet, but that sort of wears a cloak and can somehow run around and wield swords. And it's set in the future. Robots have taken over everything, but there's good robots and bad robots. Whatever, who cares? You're running around slashing up robots. It's sort of initially it feels like it's going to be a bit of a Metroidvania. It's quite open, but then it's I'm maybe an hour or two in, and it's now quite clear that it is big open areas that you can explore. But then once you hit a certain critical point, it then moves you on to so they are levels really. It's just that you're free to explore them, and there's save points and stuff. The main hook of it, though, is so the kunai, as in the title, they're these. If you're not familiar, they're Japanese throwing knives, but they've got ropes attached to them, right? So they're basically grappling hooks. And very early on, you find two of these things, and then essentially what you've got is like a pixel art Hollow Knight with robots, where you've essentially sort of got the web slinging from a Spider-Man game.
See, because I saw the trailer for this, and I when I first it launched, I was like, oh, it's a pixelated 2D side scroll. But then I saw the movement in it. I was like, fucking hell, this looks genuinely brilliant.
It's proper good. Obviously, it does all the things you would expect to sort of wrong foot you. So there's a lot of surfaces you can't, the kunai can't dig into. So there are bits where you have to, do a bit of jumping and around and stuff. But yeah, for the most part, you can just fucking properly whiz around with these things once you get used to them. And they're really sort of interesting implications in combat as well, because there might be flying enemies, so you can lob a kunai at them and just pull them towards you, which is a great way to kill them without them getting an attack in on you. But obviously, you've got to be really good with your timing because you will just pull them all the way towards you and get hit by them if you're not careful.
Right, gotcha.
So yeah, it's a bit of risk reward. It's fucking exhilarating. The combat, just as I say, like it's got all the quirks from Hollow Knight in that. So when you're slashing away with your sword, like you can basically slash as fast as you can hit the attack button, but with every time you hit an enemy, it'll sort of knock you back a little bit. Which again, that's how the kunai sort of partly come into it, because if you can do an attack and lob a kunai in front of you at the same time, pull yourself towards the enemy and get another hit in more quickly than you could if you just sort of ran back at them. And it's got the cool thing of like jumping over enemies and doing a little downward attack on them as you go over them. That was like one of the most fun things to do in Hollow Knight, and it's the same here. The traversal and the combat are just absolutely exhilarating. There's other abilities you can unlock. The ones I can buy at the moment are all just sort of quality of life ones. So like, currency sort of magnetized towards you, like a charge attack for the sword, stuff like that. So I don't know if there's anything sort of really substantially different later on.
I was about to say, how does it keep things fresh? Like, are there
don't know.
Different types of enemies, or
there's different types of enemies, and there's like the levels have changed up quite a bit. There's this is quite early on, so it's not really a spoiler. You find this like rebel base that you've been trying to find because you want to join the rebels, and this like airship comes for you. So you zip your way up to it, and it's one of those levels from Mario where it's like the forced scrolling going through the airship and battering enemies and stuff. So that was like a cool little nod as well. The only complaints I've had about it, so like you don't have a map straight away. And you do this whole like forest section, where like it's not massive, but because there's no map, it feels way bigger than it is. Right, it's really quite hard to navigate. And then before it'll actually give you the map, you have to do like a special bit of the forest, which is like those bits in games where it's like, hoo, it's a maze, and every time you exit one screen, you could end up back where you started or whatever. It's one of those. And it's like it's trying to make a funny point of like, this is how annoying it is without the map, and you'll need the map to get out. But then but you've already gone through a really long bit that was really annoying and confusing because you didn't have a map. So I don't understand like why that last bit is there. Then you get the map and then it's absolutely fine. And it's a minor complaint in the grand scheme of things. It just seemed a really strange thing to include when you've already gone through a really long section where you're like, fuck's sake, I really could do with a map here.
That is strange, yeah.
Yeah, but no, other than that,
is a colour scheme that sort of blue and sort of cream colour the whole way through, or do different sections have their own colour schemes?
Different sections have different colour schemes as far as I can tell, yeah. It doesn't deviate massively from that style, though. There have been one or 2 points where I've not... Like, there's been a bit that I thought was a wall, but it actually wasn't.
Oh, really?
So it turned out it was, it was an opening into another area or whatever. So that's like, it does have this sort of limited colour palette, which works for the most part. But yeah, it has sort of led to some sort of readability issues,
misunderstanding.
I guess. Yeah. But no, other than that, it's properly fucking enjoyable.
Yeah, it looks good. I mean, it screams Summer Games does quick.
Yes. Cannot wait to see speed runs of this. Yeah, it's going to be incredible.
Speed runs of that just look like it's going to be amazing to look at.
And there's I have a feeling there's going to be way more to the combat that I've not quite figured out yet. So really enjoying that. Definitely going to get it finished.
What's that on Switch?
I'm playing on Switch. Yeah, I think it's on PC as well.
Swatch. Yeah. Cool. All right. Is that it from us this week?
That is it, mate.
Yep. Good. Right. Now let's get to... I'm quite looking forward to getting involved with these ones because usually it's way later. But I'm looking forward to really giving these questions some time. Yep. We best have some good ones. Yep. Let's get on with the emails.
I've got a massive glass of water, so hopefully if I start having a coughing fit halfway through, it'll be fine. Emails, if you want to send us an email, send it to podcast@thecomputergameshow.com and we might read it out. Lee Griggs says, do you guys have a vintage gaming year that you fondly remember? Mine is 2016 with classic games that I'm still playing today. Inside, Titanfall 2, Overwatch, Doom, Dishonored 2 and The Last Guardian. That's quite a good shout, to be fair.
It's a good year, but the last game you mentioned there, come on. doesn't join that list.
Was not going to go there because I'll make enemies if I talk about that game publicly.
Why is that?
Last Guardian. I didn't get on with it, did I?
No, yeah, I absolutely hated it as well.
I thought you were like mixed, Dave. So you finished it at least, whereas I didn't.
I really, if I remember correctly, I really liked the ending.
Okay.
But dealing with that fucking thing was shocking. I think Matt was the most positive about it, wasn't
me. I was the only one who liked it. Everyone else hated it.
Oh, that's right.
The controls of that thing just did my nutting towards the end. I loved it at the beginning.
Like I get it, whenever you try and criticise again, people are like, oh yeah, but it's an animal in it. It's not supposed. It's like, no, I get that, but I don't want to spend 15 minutes of my life telling it to do the same thing over and over again and it not doing it. It's not.
Yeah, I think the funny thing is that I think it could be one of those games where it's like you can just get lucky with that thing.
Yeah.
And if you did, I'm sure it'd be brilliant because there were some great moments in it. But yeah, no, for me, the controls just absolutely sent me loopy. Yeah. It was crazy.
And then you get some of them like, oh yeah, but it depends on how you treat Trico. Like, fucking, can you imagine if your kid was playing up and people were like, yeah, that's because you fucked up raising him, haven't you? Right.
Okay.
I don't know what my answer to the question is. I always feel like if I could like go back, I always feel like the sort of late 90s like PC scene was a good time because I was playing loads of like RPGs and stuff then, which I fondly remember. But I mean, other than that,
mine would definitely be an N64 year.
Yeah.
Definitely, because that was like the height of it. Everything seemed so exciting that was coming out. I think it was the year that GoldenEye came out, where there was just a bunch of games that were like unbelievable, and would make me physically sick just to think about playing them. I think that helps as well. The fact that I wasn't able to play the majority of the games that come out, so a lot of the time you're just buying the magazine and reading about them, and you're so much more excited about games coming out back then.
Yeah.
See, I was thinking
that's not necessarily because it was of that time thing. That could just be an age thing, right? It could just be that I'm a little bit older now. I play games quite easily that I want to play, but back then I didn't have the money or whatever. So yeah, it's not necessarily that year was particularly good, but the fact that you were so limited with what you could play in the first place.
It's funny because because it's easy to sort of think like, to go a bit sort of like, kids these days don't know how good they've got it. Whereas actually we sort of saw it all go full circle because so I started with a Commodore 64 and it was like, mate, have a fucking £3 magazine. It's got about 10 games on the case, it's got a cover tape. To then, like you say, N64 games, fucking 70 quid each. And now back to just being able to fucking download loads of shit. So,
that was a bit of a shocker. Yeah. But goddamn, those games on that N64 at that time, forget about it. Oh god, just even Wave Racer. When you're playing Wave Racer and just thinking the games are never going to look better than this. It was the good shit. The good shit, Matt.
I mean, like that first year Halo came out, was that 2000? Was it 2000? 2001? Like,
I think so.
That was a special time. But I'm really only thinking about single games, really. I mean, I'm sure everyone doesn't ever mention like 98 or 2007. 98.
I think 98 might have been the one that I was thinking of.
That was like Ocarina of Time.
Oh god,
Half-Life 1, maybe also.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
See, I was having a look at. I mean, I look at this question. I thought what was being good, but more recently, even though it's 10 years ago, was 2010, because the list for that is insane. You got Bayonetta, Mass Effect 2, Halo Reach, Alan Wake, Red Dead Redemption, Super Mario Galaxy 2, Fallout New Vegas, Rock Band 3, and also you had the whole Kinect thing. It was a crazy year. There was a lot of really good stuff in it.
Well, you just screwed your argument up there.
I was going to say.
That is pretty good, though.
That is a hell of a list. Yeah. Jesus.
And I'm sorry, but when Kinect come out, we were all really enjoying it.
It was a big deal when it came out. Like, I mean, people were enjoying it. Matt, you loved it.
Kinect Sports, Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Kinect at the beginning.
I found, I think I've still got it on Facebook, the doing the Ricky Gervais dance in
Connect Adventures.
Connect Adventures.
Yeah, I've still got a video of me screaming on it. It's brilliant, yeah.
Screaming. That's a fucking good shout. But
Okay,
I think
I've got listed for 2007: Halo 3, Portal, Bioshock, Crysis, Modern Warfare, the original, Resident Evil 4, Rock Band, Half-Life Orange Box, Super Mario Galaxy, Uncharted, Assassin's Creed, Mass Effect Skate. I mean, that's an incredible year.
That's also
2007.
a good year,
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
That might be it. Because I remember that. Because
so
Mario
98...
Galaxy and Mass Effect came out the same week, didn't they? And I just remember just being like, fucking, what is as good as video games?
What is as good as... Hang on, what is as good as...
What is as good as video games? Yeah. Just like... Because those two games coming out in the same week, sort of polar, the opposite ends of the things I like scale. Obviously one being quite a sort of po-faced RPG with shooting, and the other one being the new Mario game. But just both perfect in their own way, and just, fucking incredible.
I'm looking at... So 97 wasn't quite as good as 98, I don't think. Although it did have Grand Theft Auto come out, Diddy Kong Racing, GoldenEye, Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah.
There's some big hitters on here. Bomberman 64. But then 98, when you look at 98, you've got Zelda Ocarina of Time, Half-Life, Grim Fandango, Banjo-Kazooie, Resident Evil 2, Metal Gear Solid, Fallout 2, whatever, Sonic Adventure, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, F-Zero X, 1080 Degrees, Mario Party, Panzer Dragoon Saga. I mean, there are some fucking huge titles on this list. Pokemon Yellow, Pokemon Yellow. That was the first one, wasn't it?
No, Red and Blue was the first one.
Yeah, Red and Blue were the first one, and then the cartoon
one,
happened, and then they went, let's re-release Red and Blue, but where Pikachu follows you around.
Pikachu on
Red
it.
and Blue came out in 98, so further adding to
when did they come out
being
in? Because I had a bloody American import of Blue.
Look at you.
I know.
Look at you.
I was cool as fuck.
Man, there are some huge...
It would be another 4 years before I touched a lady.
There's some crazy titles in 98. That's got to be up there.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Also 98, Banjo-Kazooie, Sonic Adventure, Spyro the Dragon, F-Zero X, Test Drive 5.
4 of those titles I just mentioned. Do you not listen to me, Matt?
Did you mention F-Zero X?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we can all agree.
The only one I didn't mention there was Spyro the Dragon, and
Sonic
you
Adventure?
kind of understand why. I mentioned Sonic Adventure, yes. Okay, cool. Next question.
Maria Mendieta says, Dear gentlemen, thank you for delivering an episode full of fascinating industry chat. James, Nintendo's future sounds promising. I can't remember what that's a reference to.
James had to predict the future of Nintendo, and he said interactive glasses.
Yes, interactive glasses. Incredible. Thinking about Dave's parting comment about stealth games, have any of you ever admired a game in a genre you cannot stand? If so, did you try to explore the genre further, only to confirm that, as you suspected from the start, it was never really for you? Finally, Sean, as a way of weaning you off surviving Mars, have you looked into Frostpunk? If anything, it could at least offer a change of city-building environment, as its gameplay focuses on surviving a sadistically cold landscape. I've actually got Frostpunk, and I do really want to play it. I kept sort of half thinking it might be a fun one to stream, because it's all about making really harsh decisions that get people killed. I will check that out. But yeah, the first question, I mean...
Easy for me.
Yeah?
Easy.
Yeah.
Fantasy RPG.
Yeah.
I think it started with, if this counts, Fable was the first one where I was like, this is a little bit, different.
Yeah.
It's usually the stuff that I don't like. Really enjoyed it. Then obviously Dark Souls, and then The Witcher 3. But that is as far as I've gone into it. I think I started Skyrim and just went, nah.
I mean, yeah,
that says a lot about me.
If Skyrim
not
and
game,
Witcher 3 don't get you. I mean, I'm not even the biggest fan of Skyrim, but that's the one that statistically most people like. So
yeah, I mean, the Witcher 3 got me. Yeah, I really like that, but not Skyrim. I didn't. Although I didn't play it for long. I didn't really get into that, but I think it's one of those that it's got to be an exceptional game for me to cross that sort of barrier. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Because I'm still, they haven't won me round to the genre, but I've certainly realised that there are games on there in that genre that I can appreciate for sure.
Yeah.
Sean, it's got to be FIFA for you, right? Oh, this is going to be shit, and then you're almost crying because Danny Williams has left. Like, that was quite a turn up for the books.
Well, Marie says, did you try to explore the genre further only to confirm that, as you suspected, it was never really for you? Whereas I did actually end up enjoying FIFA a bit.
That's true. Yeah, good point.
I'm trying to think. I mean, I've said before, I keep trying with the Assassin's Creed games. I mean, I suppose it's not really a genre.
But the genre is like action game, and I think you're pretty down with them. I think you're all right.
Yeah. So no, I can't think of any really.
James?
I always try with Pokemon games. Like, as in, it's one of those series which, when it first came out, I was kind of probably not quite the target market. I was a bit too old at that point. And I understand that they're supposed to be very good. And I've played all the way through Pokemon Go because I really wanted to try it. And I still did not enjoy it. I don't know what it is about them. I just don't like them that much.
Is it turn-based? Do you like turn-based
not really.
Fighting games?
Not really. I mean, I can tolerate it in stuff like Persona because I enjoyed the story side of that. But the actual gameplay mechanic, I don't really like turn-based very much at all. I've always found it irritating.
I found that with South Park: Stick of Truth, because I hate playing games like that. But it felt really good in South Park, and actually, tell a lie, it felt really good in the Mario. The one I played, Mario and Luigi Super Saga, is it?
Yeah, those they're really good. Yeah,
Superstar Saga.
Never had a problem with that in that either. Yeah, that was
Yeah, no, I quite enjoyed it in that. To be fair, but. What are your thoughts there? I don't think we've gone into it though, have we? What are your thoughts on Yakuza now saying that they're changing to turn-based?
I'm worried about that because I'm a bit worried about it. I mean, although it has had quite good reviews in terms of how that works. So, I mean, obviously I'm going to play it, but I'm not as excited as I probably would be because it's just a game mechanic style I just don't really enjoy very much. I mean,
it's such a weird fucking change that.
Yeah.
Isn't it? That's really strange, that. Like, having a game that has been, it's got so many entries to it that are all, brawlers, essentially.
Yeah.
And switching to turn-based stuff like that is just, I don't understand it. I don't get that.
I mean, it plays into the main character, apparently, because he's, supposed to be a big fan of, Final Fantasy and stuff like that. And there's even, music and everything they've taken from that to, sort of show that this is how he is visualising the battles that are going on, is, as a turn-based strategy game, which is pretty funny.
You've got to think about the people that are playing these games.
Yeah.
And you've got such an opportunity to alienate and piss off a bunch of people that love your games. It's weird. But there you go.
I just thought that'd be one mode within the game rather than them changing the entire game.
No. They've changed the whole game.
No, it's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Apparently.
I mean, if nothing else, it seems weird that, if you've got a whole studio full of people who have a lot of expertise in designing a certain combat system, to just be oh, you're not doing that anymore.
I played Yakuza and I wouldn't say expertise.
Here we go.
I wouldn't say expertise in combat systems. Matt, have you got an answer?
I mean, I've always sort of admired games like Dota, but I've never tried. But seeing that stuff blow up so massively in esports and people talking about
why don't you try it then? That'd make a good stream.
It just seems very intimidating.
I don't know if this is something we should encourage, Dave, because he'd fucking go all in. We won't see him.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that as a stream though. Watching.
I would. Can you imagine hearing about it every week? It'd be,
it'd be unbearable.
But there's part of me that's curious that can Matt break that, because it is a barrier to entry, isn't it? It must be nuts.
Can I break into a team? Is that what you're gonna say?
Can you break into the esports arena?
I can break into the arena, but can I break into the scene?
I mean, it's fascinating because that's probably this show's major blind spot for some people, right? I mean, I don't think we attract that sort of listener as a result, but Yeah, when you consider that, like,
Do you want to describe that sort of listener for us there? Sure.
No,
Just give a brief summary of that sort of listener.
People who are into MOBAs, which literally millions of people are. But like, we don't even hear from those people because...
No, I know for a fact we've got listeners who are massive into MOBAs and also play console games.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Because it just, like say, it just floors me when you see footage from like the tournaments and stuff. Like, it's absolutely obscene the amount of money that goes. I was in the other week. I was having lunch with a friend of the show, Sam White, when I was down in London just for one night. And we were in a Korean barbecue place, and they started playing this. Do you know, Matt? You know the League of Legends song that's in Beat Saber?
Yes.
And I was like, "Fuck me, I know this song." And he's like, "How?" I said,
that was playing in a restaurant.
Yeah. And
right.
and he had to be like, "Oh, yeah." So he was like, "Oh, how do you know it?" And I said, "Well, the thing is, right, League of Legends, they made some new character skins for like 4 of the characters, and they went." I want to tell you what, let's pretend it's a pop band and get some professional musicians to like make a song. And it was a massive fucking hit. And you're just like, how's that real? It's fucking bizarre. Like, it's just a little marketing stunt for some new skins for some characters, and it's that big.
Yeah, because if you've got millions of players, well, I'll listen to the song that's in the game. Suddenly you've got millions of streams. It's like, it's doing well on the charts.
It's fucking insane. So yeah, but none of us are interested, and I just think that's fascinating that it's just for us. It's like a total mystery, really.
I mean, I'd like to add further comments to this, but this is how I found out that 2 of my friends met up for lunch on my doorstep and didn't hear about it. Okay.
Oh, Maria also added, P.S. Matt, sorry for the random question, but what was the name of the Toronto FC player you admired?
I've done some research. It's Abdus Ibrahim. He was in like the FIFA 2008 demo. Plays for Toronto FC. Me and my mate James Ramson. We basically played that and
James
we were loving. It wasn't James Farley. But yeah, Ibrahim was just like a star player, and we absolutely loved him. And when we got the game, we played Toronto, and we absolutely loved Ibrahim. He's our boy.
Fair enough. Right, Dean Gresty says, "All right, lads, main man Dean here. Whenever I take a shit, I always get naked first. My mates think it's proper weird, but it feels most natural to me."
This email is ridiculous. I don't know if... go on.
Go on.
To be fair, I do try to time my bowel movements so that I'm at home during the process, as I don't feel fully comfortable taking a shit if I can't have a shower straight afterwards.
Well, I mean, hang on, I've got a lot of questions. Like,
let's just get to the end of it. I'm not even like a third of the way through. I was once in Times Square with the missus, and we had to get a cab back to the hotel so that I could poop in private and get showered and freshen up before heading back out. The missus wasn't very happy with me, as she wanted to spend some time looking around makeup shops. I first started to strip before deploying the SEAL team after I broke my wrist and had to have my arm in a cast. Being naked made the situation more manageable, but I adopted the practice as the norm ever since. If I get caught short and can't make it home in time, then I'll still take the Tarzan approach, although these occasions are rare. A quick Google puts my mind at ease to find that I'm not alone in getting my kit off before letting the caboose loose. Sorry, I've just said the G word and now my phone's fucking flashing at me. It's kind of like that whole stand up or sit down to wipe debate, whereby most people find it weird to find out that people have different methods to themselves for undertaking everyday tasks. He says pick attach for reference. Is that real? I haven't looked.
No.
Okay, fine. Anyway, my question is this. What quirk do you have that other people might find weird, but you find normal or most natural? Keep up the good work.
Okay, so question.
How did this get through?
Yeah, I've got a ton of questions here. The first being, right, you're in Times Square.
Yep.
Your other half wants to go to shopping, but why have you made her come back to the hotel
That's
room?
the point. Why
does
she have to come with you?
That's why don't you say, all right, you go shopping, I'm going to go back to a hotel room and do a poo? What? Secondly, if you have to get naked to take a poo, don't say that you'll try it and do it at home. Just make sure you're doing it at home. You can't be at work taking all your clothes off to go for a poo,
I
you?
wouldn't want my bare feet touching the floor of anyone.
Like, wait, you didn't mention socks. Let's just assume the socks are kept on.
Well, hold on, that's not naked then.
Yeah.
I don't know. If I saw a naked dude running down the road but he had socks on, I wouldn't say, wow, he's not naked, it's fine. I would still say it's a naked dude.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, all right, okay, we'll go with that. naked having a poo. That's not for me. Also, I've never understood that, I couldn't possibly poo in there. But I think it was because I was in the Scouts, right? And you just had to... I mean, I've pooed in some horrific places.
I don't think it's a Scouts thing. Sure, that's just normal. Like, everyone just does their bits anywhere, don't they? Like...
No, I think it is quite common for people to say, I won't poo at work and stuff like that.
I'll poo at
work. I've heard
work.
that a lot.
It's the best, getting paid to poo.
It's pretty good. And also... who cares where you are? Do you know what I mean? I just couldn't.
Well, yeah, because the beauty of it is that wherever you are, it's just you fucking close the door, lock it,
take your clothes off.
Take your clothes off. Who gives a shit?
Take your clothes off.
You know, like you can
tell your missus that you'll be out in a bit.
But it can just be this little sanctum of your own.
I mean, yeah, okay. Like if you go to like cubicles where where you can shut a door and there's, people can't look over the top or underneath, whatever. Then if you get naked, you get naked, whatever. You're in like a low enclosed space, that's fine. It's more the shower afterwards bit that I'm confused about.
That's true. That's you
can get naked. You can get naked.
Wrinkle,
who cares? Whatever. If it makes it more comfortable, that's fine. It's the showers. Like, hang on. Well, that could be that's a long time, innit? If you just quickly need to nip out.
Wet wipes exist. You know what I mean? Like I understand, the argument that people say, oh yeah, but you need to wash after because like toilet paper doesn't really do the job. Yeah, no, just get some wet wipes, mate.
I mean, I don't do that. I just use paper. But I mean, the shower.
Well, then you've got shit on your arse, Matthew.
I'm not.
I mean, maybe right. So this is my answer to the question, is it? I use wet wipes. Hello.
What? Hang on. Every time, Sean.
Every time I go for a poo, yeah.
Slow down. That's not weird. Wow. Using wet wipes.
Well, Matt's making me feel like it is.
Well, no. So at work, you have them on you? You can take them with you?
Sorry, no, not at work. No, that's
okay. I was going to say, I thought all right, lads, I'm off to the. I'll just plot them in my top pocket.
Just open me. That's
got the baby wipes. You know what I'm doing in there.
Yeah, no, but when I get home, I'd usually have a little wet wipe to clean up. The only problem with that is that I don't flush it.
I've never done that. That's crazy.
I mean, you still do most of it with normal toilet paper, and then just little polish at the end.
Wow, this is great.
Wow, you want a clean bumhole?
Well, I use the paper, and that's fine.
It's not though, Matt. I promise you, there's still stuff going on.
This is a game changer. Yeah, I mean,
try it.
Me. Like just using irregular old paper.
Do you have to dab it dry afterwards like I do though, Sean?
No.
It just feels a bit weird if it's still a bit wet down there afterwards. It's like...
Wow.
Okay, I've got a sad story to explain this.
Okay.
Before you go into the sad story, we sure you need to get onto James's bathroom techniques.
I'm not talking about
he's very conventional, I assume.
What, like a bit of newspaper?
No, newspaper... He's sitting there. Yeah, it's like when your dad used to go to the toilet. He'd walk in there with the newspaper under his arm, his glasses on, smashing one out, reading the news.
James, I don't see you as a wet wipe sort of guy.
I wish I'd deleted this email. I mean, what is the point of this?
This isn't your section,
Answer the question. Are you a wet wipe man?
I'm not talking about this. Can we? This is just ridiculous.
James is going bashful. This is brilliant. The weird thing I do, the sad story.
Excuse me, sorry.
So if I have a pint of Guinness, I can't finish it. I always leave a couple of centimetres at the bottom. And the reason for that is, this is going to bum people out, but the reason for that is I used to work in a pub, right? And as you know, working in a pub, you'd always get some horrible people in there. It was one of these rough pubs that used to get arseholes in all the time. I've told the story before how I got punched in the face across the bar because I slagged off David Blaine. And that sort of stuff would happen. But once a week, there'd be a bloke called Paul that used to... I didn't really know his full story, but he used to come in. He was an Irish fella, come in, and he had this but he used to ride a motorcycle. So he used to come in his motorcycle thing, put his helmet on the bar, order a pint of Guinness, and then just always left a little bit at the end. And I asked him like why he did that. And he said, "Oh, I just don't like the bottom bit." It was like a really crap excuse or whatever. And I was like, fine. But he was just like one of the nicest blokes. And it was one of the things where, one of those situations where you'd enjoy seeing him walk in because you were like, oh, cool, I get to talk to him for a little bit. He doesn't stay around for long. He has his 1 pint and leaves. Just lovely bloke. And then probably about a year after working aid, he stopped coming in. And I didn't know why. And then later on, I found out that he died in a motorcycle accident. And it was just horrible. It was like one of those chilling sort of moments. So now I can't finish a pint of Guinness. I always leave that little bit for Paul, really.
That's fair enough.
That is sad, isn't it?
It is, but it's nice
I
in a way.
I didn't know I was doing it until years afterwards. And my brother went, "Why aren't you finishing your pints?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, kind of. I did this ever since then. And now it's weird."
Sorry, I've just realised I'm undergoing massive emotional trauma every time.
Exactly. That's kind of what it is. Yeah. And it wasn't like one of those situations where he was like a mate. I would consider him a mate or anything. It's just one of these characters that you sort of got used to seeing, and then suddenly you didn't again. Yeah, it was really sad. But there you go. That was the weird thing that I do.
Right.
Anyone else?
I think mine is probably so when I'm on my own, I'll start either rehearsing conversations I know I'm going, like difficult conversations I know I'm going to have, or so I think sometimes ones that I've had in the past, and I'll rehearse them in my head to the point that I'll say the odd bit out loud, and I'm amazed that my wife has never noticed. Because there's been a couple of times where she's like been in another room and she's just been like, "Oh, did you say something?" And I'm like, "No."
Sean?
Yeah.
I can guarantee she notices.
Yeah, probably.
She knows what's happening. She's just, saying, I don't need to get involved.
Yeah, probably. And it's one of those things where I'm like, God, can you imagine if I was on like Big Brother or something? And it's just like, why is he fucking talking to himself? It's so weird. But to me, it's just like, I don't know. It's just something my brain does.
Yeah, I think about the whole Big Brother thing as well, because I probably do loads of like weird like singing and shouting, and mostly actually I think like, the trouble with this question is that I might not even think it's weird for other people. That's how natural I might do these things. But I mean I clap a lot. I do a lot of clapping.
Really?
Yeah, I just. What do you mean?
As in like just doing a big clap.
Is it like when you've been sat down for a bit and you decide to get up and you go right?
No, just like I don't know. I do it because I like the sound. I like.
You wake up in the morning and just start going.
No, I do it in a round of applause. I mean, like a solitary like clap. Yeah, I do it a lot. Yeah,
that is
do you say to yourself like, "Come on, Matt," as you do it, or something like that?
No, it's not. It's not like a G'ing up thing. I'm just like, I don't know. It sounds nice. It feels nice. I'm doing it all the time. I mean, I assume I'm doing it all the time. She was like, "Can you stop clapping?" Yeah.
Do you know what I do? I stretch my arms a lot. Like I do
that a hell of a lot.
Yeah. So I'll put them both up and I turn one wrist and pull on it with the other one. And I know I do it in the office all the time. Shit. And when you're like, oh no, no one else does this. It's probably weird.
Yeah, I do that all the time. I'm always stretching. Yeah, it's nuts. I have thought of another one. I think I've mentioned it on the show before about how I can't touch the button at car parks. When you get to the barrier, and you have to press the button. I really struggled to press that button. And it wasn't until years after that I realised it was because, those machines used to be a lot shitter than they are now. And I never saw my dad in pain or anything. He was one of these blokes that would never, I won't cry at this. Yeah. And, he'd no emotion. Except for when he pressed the button and he used to get static shock off it.
Oh, shit.
He used to go, for fuck, and make a big deal out of it. So now Joe was like, "What are you doing?" We were at a barrier, and this was early on in our relationship. And I went to press the button, and I stuttered, and I pulled my hand back, and then I wouldn't touch it, I really struggled to touch it, and I still got that. Like, it's sat in my head, it's like, don't touch that button, and that really is psychological trauma from sitting behind my dad and seeing him freak out when he got a static shock from it. Yeah, it was nuts.
Jesus.
James, I bet you've got a million of these.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, James has probably got a whole list of them.
I probably have, but I don't know what they are. You'd have to ask Chen, because she's probably noticed those are weird stuff.
Get on the line, then.
No, she's gone to bed.
Well, wake her up, right?
Okay, well, that's your homework then, James.
All right, yeah, I'll ask her tonight. Well, later.
No, I think I need to. I think
I was gonna say, I
you
think
don't
we
need
need
to
to
ask
message
her.
her.
I think we need. Yeah, I think I need to send her an email and she needs to reply, and then we read them out so you don't know what they are until we're recording the next week's show.
Great.
Yeah, it'd
that
be much
okay?
better if we did this. But this is basically like that partners question.
Yeah, no, but the good thing is we don't have to worry. Only James has to worry. That's why this is better.
Definitely better.
We could just list out James's little quirks,
Brilliant.
weird things that he does. Oh, please let us do that, James.
We'll talk about it.
I might ask Jill mine because I bet she's got loads that I probably haven't thought about.
Are we doing this? Are we doing it for all of us?
Oh, we could do.
Just weird things that we do.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm going to ask Jill. I'm interested myself.
Yeah,
No. That's defeating the point there, Matt. We've all got to do it privately. All right, we'll arrange that. We'll do it next week. I mean, there's no games coming out next week. We might as well.
True, yeah.
That's
There's
absolutely
no
fuck all.
games coming out.
These are
Let's
the games
find
now.
out what all our flaws are.
In 2 weeks, it'll be therapy. It's like, tell us about your childhood.
Introspection.
Maybe I'll have another sad story. Sad story of the week. I remember when someone in my life died. And...
Someone else died.
Right. Okay, go on.
Rudgy says, lads, hope all is well in your world. It's got a couple of things for you. First of all, I wanted to let you know that the pod is currently helping me run the London Marathon in April. I have to resist the urge to listen to the podcast on a Wednesday as it is reserved for my long run on a Sunday. Your bants helped me get through a 2 to 4 hour run through the local country parks, although I wonder what the other park patrons think of me as I'm often giggling while running past them. I'd like to apply for the post of official TCGS Marathon Runner 2020. If any of the listeners are on the route on the 26th of April, a cheery "Go Rudgy" would be deeply appreciated. Any chance of a bandana stroke hat going on the online shop so I can represent appropriately? My charity shirt has to be worn, so unfortunately I can't wear a Bell's Kitchen shirt around the streets of London town. Anyway, my question...
Can we get a games animal bandana? Come on,
Send him that.
I'm sure we could sort something out, can't we, Matt?
I don't think bandanas are on the store, but
No, but hats.
hat of some
We
sort.
had hats at one point, didn't we?
yeah. Well, I know we can't get hats in the current store. I'll have to look. I'll look into it.
Cool.
We got to sort
Yeah,
something
man,
out.
we'll
I mean, that
kit you out.
marathon's ridiculous.
Yeah, man.
Also, if we can note down what episode it is that it'd be listening to, so throughout the whole thing we could go, keep going, mate, keep going, you can do it. James would be like, oh, you should probably give up. It's bad for your knees.
It's 10:30.
Quite tired.
It is 10:30. Go on.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, it would be interesting if other people listening are also doing the marathon. It could be a just like team.
Actual, crew.
Those people doing a marathon.
Yeah, forget the charities you're doing it for, yeah?
Yeah.
Let's just make the podcast
Promote
the
us.
focus.
Yeah, just promote a Patreon.
Running billboards. Could you imagine, right, if we sorted him out a hat and he was on the BBC? That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you can wear the hat, but you've got to win. It's like,
Yeah. You'll be Mo Farah.
or, I mean, you probably get on the news if you have like a really bad accident, right?
Well, I mean, we're
God.
not condoning that.
No. It says, anyway, my question. Given that you had to experience your midlife exercise crisis, what does that mean? Midlife exercise crisis?
I don't know.
Whatever.
The implication is that guys in their 30s just take up either like cycling and buying like really expensive bikes.
Sorry, yeah.
Or running. I mean, I've done the running bit for sure.
That's true. I just started playing with a yo-yo. Given that you get to experience your midlife exercise crisis, which sports star are you likely to emulate when it does happen? And it will. My start for 10, thought through over several long runs, is as follows. David Turner. Dennis Wise. Combative, no nonsense, never afraid to put his foot in, could be accused of being irritating from time to time. Sean Bell, Kevin Costner's character from Tin Cup. It's not about winning the game, it's about doing it right. Matt Murray, Tim Howard, bald bloke with a beard. James Farley, obviously George Best. Talented, but often just didn't want to be there. Destined to end his career with an ultimately doomed battle against the booze. Should we come up with better?
We certainly can't.
No,
I mean,
that's brilliant.
because
I don't know any sports people, so I'll just assume mine's correct.
I mean, you do know some sports
just
people.
come on, Sean.
Danny
Just
Williams.
name the sports people you do know.
Yeah, go on.
Eric Cantona. There you go.
Okay, keep going. This
Yes.
is good.
Why do I like Eric Cantona so much?
Wait, what? Why do you like Eric
There's a
Cantona?
question.
Because he does his insane speeches at awards
Well,
ceremonies.
Oh yeah, I mean that's part of it, but also he kicked
Kid,
a
yes.
Crystal Palace fan in the face. So that bonus points from Davey too.
Oh yeah, so he says, finally and very deliberately put here as Farley won't have read this far and deleted the message. Can you please ensure all podcasts between now and April the 26th are 3 hours or longer so I don't have to resort to other inferior computer game podcasts on a Sunday during my run?
Oh, well, we've fucked it this week, haven't we?
We have.
But,
Sorry.
No, I mean,
There you go.
we've still got some time to go. Yeah, I sort of lost the running bug that I had I did it for a few years and I actually loved doing it, but just I've found it hard to find time with, like, as I said previously, having to drive to and from work. I miss the running to and from work. It's the best in the summer.
I'll do anything to drive to and from work. I get the bus at the moment, and the bus is not fun.
No.
I've found myself getting
should run.
more and more irritated. I ain't running. And I found myself getting more and more irritated about bus etiquette. It's just like bags on seats is one. Another one is, we've discussed it before, people walking off the entrance of the bus infuriates me these days. It's just like there's a whole different door. Use that. I know that's not everywhere, but in London it is. Just use the fact that there's clearly a queue of people waiting to get on the bus, and someone just walks up to the front of the queue and just walks on. You just think, fuck you, fuck you. Yeah, not massive fan of the bus.
Could you get a bike?
Yeah.
No,
it's fair enough. I always get annoyed with people at work who are like, "Oh, I've started biking to work. It's amazing. Like, don't you know? I don't have to sit in traffic. Da, da, da. All I have to do is get to work, have a shower, get changed." I'm like, "Whoa, fuck off."
That's already too much.
Like,
I don't want to use the work shower. There's the whole when I drive to work, I get so irritated by cyclists. If you're a cyclist, I'm sorry. You know, it's not necessarily pointing at you as a cyclist. There's just enough dickheads on cycles that piss me off. I'm not saying you're one of those people. There are fine cyclists too, but there are enough that piss me off to make me know that I never want to be on one. Just the whole red light thing winds me up to start with. You know what I mean?
Oh, sorry. You mean like as in traffic lights?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, what's ignoring them?
It's just ignoring them.
Yeah, that's
so
not.
why?
Yeah.
It just.
Yeah.
And then why is it suddenly
Waving
acceptable
his
for them
copy
to
of the
bash
highway
your car?
code. So I
Just like slapping the side of your car is acceptable now, is it? Don't touch my car. I mean, trust me, it's battered enough as it is. I mean, it's been written off.
So in what context are they slapping the side of your car?
If you get too close to them, or if they think you've cut them off, or that you've done something, they think it's acceptable to either punch the side of your car, or in extreme cases, just smack your windscreen.
Jesus.
I mean,
That
again,
seems
you must have
perfectly
really
acceptable.
cut them up for them to do that, surely.
I don't cut people up, mate.
I mean-
in fact, actually, the past 5 years, I've mellowed out as a fucking driver completely. Like, it's when you see people cutting into you in traffic, I used to hold down the horn, go mental. Now I'm just like, who cares? You're one car in front of me in this ridiculous traffic. I don't care anymore. I just don't care. So yeah, I've chilled out a lot.
Cool.
Where did we go?
I don't know. Should I just read the
next?
next email out?
Yeah.
It's from Sean Thomas.
Please.
Says, "Hi chaps, interesting debate as ever on the next gen ahead. Something I hadn't fathomed until discussing Microsoft's plan with a colleague was how revolutionary the pay model will be. Much has been made of cloud gaming, Game Pass and cross-generation support, which will all be huge leaps, but it's the shift in how to pay for it all that strikes me as a game changer. My understanding is Xbox will move to an iPhone contract model where you can choose from multiple devices of varying specs to suit your needs, and you upgrade and take out a subscription according to your needs. So if on day one of Xbox Series X launching, there's a huge media campaign saying, for example, for 20 quid today, you can take home a state-of-the-art new Xbox and get free access to every new and old game Microsoft has ever published, and that's one hell of a message. No waiting 2 years for a price drop. or the first real next-gen game to arrive. You can be all in day one for next to nothing. Now, obviously, you'll be tied into a 2-year contract and still end up paying the £500 you normally would, merely in a different way, but that ability to upgrade as and when you choose and get all that latest tech instantly for the price of a Domino's deal is something that could see Microsoft have a huge install base overnight. I don't really do subscriptions, nor am I a lover of Halo, Gears, or any other of their IPs really, but in a moment of spontaneous high street shopping weakness, I could totally see myself signing up and arriving home with a new member of the family. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Would you guys succumb for a one-off payment of £20? Keep up the good work. I mean, this is kind of what I was saying when they first introduced that pay monthly model through. There's only a couple of retailers who were doing it, wasn't it?
Yeah,
and I was saying
game.
yeah, and it was like on paper, of course, it's not value for money, but if when the new console comes out and it's an amount I can't afford, and but yeah, there's a subscription model available. Like credit industry's built on poor decisions like that. And yeah, I could see myself mulling it over for sure.
I think it's an interesting option. I think it would be more than £20 though, right?
Yeah,
you're talking
probably.
a £500 game console, plus they'll probably you'd need that Game Pass on top of it, right? Yeah. It's that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I don't think £20's going to happen. But I think it would be a good option for a lot of people. I just don't think it'd be right for me. And it'd be interesting to see how the warranty, because warranties are usually 1 year on these consoles. If it breaks and you're still paying monthly, does that seem?
Oh, that's it. Because wasn't so that deal that was being offered was, and it was like, oh, but it includes insurance as well, and it's like, yeah, but that's for you. It's not for me. It's because I don't technically own the fucking thing till the deal ends.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, so £20 a month is basically that's your £500 over 2 years. But as you say, there'll be subscriptions to add on top of that. There'll be the insurance, and then there'll be a little bit of interest on it as well, I imagine. So it's going to end up being more, isn't it?
Yeah, way more. I'm not sure it would be right for me, but I do think giving people the option to pay this way is actually a good idea. And although, ultimately you're probably playing more than you would do anyway, it still fits into people's lifestyles a little bit better.
Yeah.
The only problem I've got is that I'm starting to get a bit sick with all these direct debits coming out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the problem with
Spotify, Netflix, Xbox Live, there's a lot of shit that comes out.
Xbox Live, you should just find a cheap annual one.
No, I don't know why I said that one. I do it through the card system now. And in fact, actually, my PSN's just run out. And I'm kind of thinking...
Do I just leave it?
I'm happy to just leave that
no
one
need
now.
to renew that anymore.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, my current weakness is... like clothes and using Klarna for it.
Yeah,
so it's like paying
is Klarna
next
good
month.
or bad?
I think Klarna is. It's one of those ones, isn't it? It's like payday loans in that on paper it's all very clear how it works. It's just so easy to do that if you're not massively savvy about your money, then you can get yourself in a bad situation with it. Like, so for me, it's so I'll buy it because I find it really useful because when like ordering clothes online, there's no guarantee they'll fucking fit. So order everything in like 2 different sizes and send 90% of it back. So it means that in that interim period of you trying the stuff on before you send it back, you haven't actually paid anything. So you don't have to pay anything until a month later. But then, obviously, there's then that temptation to be like, well, whatever the amount is, that's next month's problem. But of course,
that's a
if
risk.
you're doing that on the reg, then it's just always a problem. So yeah, I've broken out of the cycle now, but it is potentially dangerous, I guess.
Joe does clothes shopping like that, and I never understand it.
I love it.
I just ordered loads of things and then send it all back. It's like,
it's great.
How?
Well, because it means
I like going to a shop and just trying it on.
Basically, because dressing rooms like stress me out. Don't know why.
Really? Why?
I think it's just even though no one sees you, it's just like trying stuff on that you're too fat for in anything but the comfort of your own home. It's just like, I don't know, just find it really demoralising. Whereas just doing it at home, I'm just like, yeah, it gives a shit. Back in the box, fuck you.
I'm totally with you on that. It's just
Fuck you, clothes.
going clothes shopping is just an exercise in frustration and sadness. So it's just
You see, that's how I used to feel until I started doing it online. This is a video games podcast, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, but in terms of the
feels like-
Xbox thing, basically, the Xbox One X you can come and get for this Xbox All Access thing. It's £25 a month. It is 0% APR. And
Okay.
obviously, that comes with Game Pass Ultimate. So it's not outside the realms of possibility to say the new one will be £25 or maybe 30.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. And basically, a One S is currently £20 a month. Maybe they'll add the Series X on that. Maybe that'll be 30. Maybe it'll be 25, and then it goes down a bit.
But if you do this, what happens if you decide you don't want to continue with it? Do you have to sign up for like a minimum term or something?
There'll be a 2-year minimum
But yeah,
term,
it's a phone. Yeah, so it's like it's a 24-month contract.
Yeah. Which we're all accustomed to thanks to phones, so I don't think that'd
Well,
put
see,
too many
it's
people
getting even worse with that now. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's fucking...
Like, I think I'm on like a 32. Oh, I can't remember how
36.
many months mine is.
6, yeah.
No, it's not 3 years. It's like 2.5 mine is.
Shit.
Right. Weird.
Well, because we all...
Anyway, no,
okay.
it's going to be interesting if Microsoft properly publicises this new model. Because right now they've got it, but I don't feel like they're massively pushing it.
They're not
It's there in the
going to
background, but
kick off with it.
It'd be interesting if this becomes part of the marketing for the new system.
It will not. They're not going to kick off with this. This is the kind of thing that will be like later down the line after they've got all the hardcore and everything to buy the system for whatever they're selling it for.
I don't see why not though. Like you say, they won't kick off to this, but why not?
Well, has it worked so far with Xbox One X? Like, we don't know, do we? Like, whether people have actually gone for this or not. I mean, it'd be really interesting if
Well,
we've
they
got
don't
anyone who
have to
listens
go
do
for it. It's just an option, another option of paying, isn't it?
Well, I guess so.
I don't see why I'm not necessarily saying that they will kick off with it, but I don't see any real reason why they couldn't.
Yeah. I mean, and actually, because I think they've probably rolled this out now for current consoles, maybe it's like a test. I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't say, oh, yeah, get Series X now for £30 a month.
Okay.
Lars Hedderdam says, hi boys, thank you for another great podcast. During the Disco Elysium discussion last week, James talked about the dice roll, saying he really liked that you can set up everything perfectly and it might still not come off, adding to the depressing mess of the game. It reminded me of a previous episode where James told us about his son playing a game and losing, to which James said, paraphrasing, I think it was an important lesson for him to learn that in life you can work your hardest to make good decisions, but in the end everything good will turn to ash in your mouth. Pissed myself laughing at that parenting gem. So Disco Elysium might be representing James's parenting approach.
Don't remember that.
But which game, if any, represent the parenting approach of the rest of the crew? All the best.
Nintendo Land.
Just quickly, what made me laugh when James said that last week, by the way? James, were you thinking of the Picard quote when you said it?
No. What was that?
Oh, whatever. Don't lie to me. There's a
No, I'm
famous
not.
bit in The Next Generation when Picard lectures because Data's going nuts because he made a mistake and got some people killed. And Picard does this big rant about, like, you know, it's just possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. Like, it's not a failure, that is life. And yeah, I assumed you were thinking of that.
I was not.
Subconsciously.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah, no,
True, though.
I'm fun dad.
It's true.
I'm fun dad. Boy,
Yep.
don't you worry about that. So, you know, Nintendo Land for me. Come home, yeah, whatever, it's all cool, don't worry about it. Jo absolutely hates it. My approach to parenting, she hates it, and understandably so, really. Because, I mean, even tonight, you know, I come in, she's sitting on Harry's bed, feeding Charlie, trying to get him asleep, and I come rushing in going, like, it calls, like, Charlie's eyes are like wide open for about an hour after that happens. I can't help it. I love getting home and just like going mental. It's my favourite thing. Sometimes I walk into the front room and chuck a lightsaber at Harry and then pull another one out from behind my back. And he slowly picks it up and then we just start battering each other. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Just before bedtime. Yeah, I'm a nightmare. Matt?
Well, in terms of that, I'm getting told off by Jill because, you know, it's bedtime, it's supposed to be calming down, and, you know, I'm like tickling her or making her laugh and stuff, and it's like it's supposed to be the relaxing time, and you're like geeing up, and bedtime.
Well, what game? That's the question.
What game? The parenting approach. What game? Shit Dad. You know Shit Dad on the PC. Come out 2008. There's a point of it.
Can I play that? Is that part of GeForce now?
It's not
now?
on there,
Can I
no,
actually-
sadly not. No.
Yeah,
It's a
right.
great
That's
game.
a shame.
actually.
Probably on
That
Stadia,
is
though.
that is a
It's a
shame.
walking
that
simulator. Just...
one. I'm not Stadia. What's yours, Sean?
Dark Souls, because
Oh, here we go. Go on.
because I don't know if this annoys Nu or she's happy to just let me do it even though she thinks it's entirely pointless. Like when Isaac's throwing a tantrum or it's just being an arsehole, like I will just keep trying to explain things to him. Like in a nice way. Whereas Nu's very much like, he's just being an arsehole. There's no point talking to him.
Yeah, because what you don't realise is that she's tried that approach for hundreds of hours more than you have, and it's not worked.
But I'm like, no, I will just keep trying over and over and over again, even though it's an absolute fucking failure every time. And she's like,
So
no,
you're
Isaac.
leaving little messages on the floor like the online players in Dark Souls.
That's the point. That's a good idea. Yeah, leave little hints for myself. But yeah, just like literally like 50 times if that's what it takes. That's what it takes. Eat your fish fingers, then you can watch a bit of Paw Patrol. Right?
Do you know what? That must feel like you having a problem like with your Xbox for all day. Your Xbox is broken. You've tried to fix it all day, and then your mate comes over in the evening and goes, we're not playing Xbox. I'll try unplugging the cables at the back and putting that back. Yeah, no, I've tried that, mate. Oh, right, okay. Well, have you tried, reconnecting the control? Yeah, I've tried that, mate. That's what that parenting must feel like for my wife when I come home and I'm trying to sort Harry out.
It's like when we give Sean advice about microphones and stuff. Like when we're doing recordings.
It's true.
It's just like asking for help on Twitter in general.
Just don't do that.
Yeah, I have actually given up, and I'm not having a go at anyone. But it's just like
Name names, Sean. Name names.
It's just I honestly can't remember, but just that routine thing of like, right, guys, I'm looking for something with like these 3 requirements, and then you immediately get recommendations that ignore at least several of them.
I said the worst thing to ask is about phones.
Oh God,
because everyone thinks they've got the best phone. Everyone thinks they've got the best one.
Like I just don't. I've never asked for advice on Twitter. Like there's experts in every field online. Why would you just get?
Why ask those dickheads on Twitter?
Just go to YouTube. Go read reviews.
What really gets me, and again, I've tried to stop doing it because it's really quite. It's not mean, but it's just like weird. Like I'll do a poll, like if it's like, oh, what game should I play next, or what buy next, or whatever, and then I'll look at the winner and be like, nah, I really don't want that one, and then just go for something else anyway. But
it's just pointless.
Yeah.
Half the time you're just trying to like justify your own. fault.
It's like everyone agree with me, or I'll just ignore what you have to say anyway.
Everyone agree with me, or I'll buy some Russian bots.
Right, last email. Alex D says, hi gang, last month my PlayStation Plus ran out, and rather than renew it, I decided to try a year of PlayStation Now. So far, so good, because you don't need PlayStation Plus to play PlayStation Now games online. It means I can still play Rocket League, the only game I ever used to play online anyway. Whilst not as good as Game Pass, there are easily enough games to last me the year I've initially paid for. So far, I've finished Horizon Zero Dawn and I'm now playing Mafia 3, which despite the average reviews, I'm still enjoying pretty well. It got me wondering...
Yeah, I mean, it nosedives. Sorry, spoilers.
It got me wondering what your gangster names would be. I had a quick think, and I've come up so far with Jimmy China, Landon Dave, Bullet Bell, and Matt the Cat, brackets, because he can't concentrate on much and shifts allegiance like the wind. I appreciate most of these are pretty lame, so I wondered if you can come up with anything better. I'm all right with Bullet Bell, to be honest, especially since I've had a haircut and a shave. I think that's...
Bullet Bell's not bad. I think, it's old skinny jeans. That's what that would be.
Old skinny jeans.
Old tight pants.
Old skinny
tight
jeans.
Pants,
Boy, the paint job, tea.
What would be your gangster names, James?
I don't know.
It'd be something like the accountant.
Yeah.
It'll be
Like
human, but actually quite scary.
Numbers. I'll go and speak to numbers. If they're there.
He's the brains of the operation. Talk to numbers.
Qualified.
Lots of numbers.
Doctor.
Talk to the professor.
Yeah. London Dave's not a bad one. I think that works quite well.
Oh, what else
quite
could
happy
you
with
have?
that.
How about just
Sutton Dave, more accurately.
how about just the mouth? I'm not right.
Yes. The man.
No, because that sounds like I'm a rat.
Oh,
I
that's
ain't having
true.
that.
Yeah.
I'll never be a rat.
But
I'll never
London
be a
Dave
fucking
doesn't
grass.
really like, which London Dave are you talking about? No, London Dave?
Yeah,
Come
it's
on,
not
mate.
too specific, is it?
God, Jesus, there's about a minute of them in this city.
Big shoes. Also, can I just ask? You don't need PS Plus to play Rocket League, do you?
I've no idea.
You must have to
Because
you...
you don't need.
Yeah, it's an online
You don't
game,
need-
surely you do.
Yeah.
Well, you don't need it on the Switch. You don't need Nintendo Online to play Rocket League
Do you not?
online,
I don't know.
do you? I don't think so. I thought it was like the same sort of deal as Fortnite.
Well, yeah, but Fortnite's free to play. Who knows?
That
Yeah, I
makes
dunno.
even less sense.
Matt, why don't you look it up? You might be able to find out if you've got
Fuck
like
off, James.
Xbox.com open.
Yeah, check on the Xbox.com. I think those gangster names are pretty good.
Yeah.
Quite happy with them.
The math.
Should we get on to tweets?
Yeah, that's it for emails.
The math. At Computer Game on Twitter if you want to tweet us.
Computer game on pod.
MJL Gaming. Quick question. My Switch has died. Does our Nintendo accounts have cloud saves for recovery? Or might I have to restart everything?
If you've got
Nintendo Online. Yeah.
Yeah. And even then, it's not every game, is it?
No,
Or
there are
have
some
they
that
implemented
doesn't
it
do it.
every game?
Yeah, unfortunately. Also, what did we the fucking Nintendo
Yeah,
support
what are we,
helpline
Xbox.com?
now? What? Didn't they used to have that, a phone number?
Yeah, it did.
God,
yeah.
yeah.
Nintendo
the-
support.
Well, Nintendo Helpline, yeah.
Yeah.
But that was like you could ring up and ask how to beat levels and stuff on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's great.
I wonder how many people like prank them with like fake levels and stuff, and that would have been quite a funny thing.
Well,
wouldn't
a
it?
lot of kids did in school, yeah.
Yeah, I bet they did. I'd like to hear those tapes. Next question.
Thomas at Llama Fluff 42. I know this is a weekly question, but is Matt all right? He seemed a bit angry last week and about the pelters in the chat, which confused me. He has 3 roles in TCGS: admin, CEO, and whipping boy. Why is he suddenly
Well-
kicking back? It's literally his job to soak up the punches. No, it isn't,
I
Thomas.
was going to say that's a bit harsh.
Yeah.
How dare you
Next
answer
question.
back, Matt?
Also, 3 roles. I think one of those is true.
I mean,
Admin.
many roles. I've lost count.
You were pretty, because I watched a lot of your stream this week. You were pretty serene in that, I thought.
Yeah, no, it is a lot calmer. This
Yeah, there
week.
was a lot of those. Well, there was some stuff about how it's fine to spend a month on a boss in Sekiro because other people spend 500 hours getting a hat in Destiny.
Oh no, there was a lot of bullshit in chat for sure,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah,
Not as much aggression. So.
No. It was serene. Other people well behaved. It was a good old stream.
Yeah.
I still have a lot of anger inside me. This is what I'm kind of concerned. Like recently, I've been quite angry, and I'm concerned because, as I've said in the pod, right, I really barely felt anger in my life, and like I famously really felt it in like the first few months of LD being born. I wanted to like join like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I've just never really felt anger as an emotion, and now I'm worried that it's like suddenly creeping in, and all this sort of pent-up anger might explode, and I'm quite scared.
Why don't
Embrace
you? Why are you
it, Matt.
worried
It's
about
fine.
that? Anchor's great, man.
Yeah, embrace it. It's
Well,
fine.
I've never really
Well,
had to
I
deal
wouldn't
with
go
it.
that far.
I don't like it. I'd say like it's.
No,
It
I
is-
mean, don't you know what I mean?
It's
not like
it's occasionally useful. Same as stress. There are levels of it that you kind of need sometimes to get stuff done.
I'd say anger's more cathartic than like it's good to get angry about stuff once in a while. And don't get me wrong, there's various different levels of
Yeah.
it, obviously, and reaction to anger is obviously very varying and can be damaging and everything. Like if you want to get serious about it, but there are moments where it's good to just get really fucking angry about stuff. It makes you feel good.
Yeah, I don't think I like it. Anyway, I'm hoping it calms down, but I'm still sort of bubbling under. Although, yeah, but nothing like as bad as last week, and that did feel quite cathartic. But Anyway,
I mean, if it's genuinely a thing, then definitely like worth talking to someone about it. But
or just buy a punch bag at home.
Or just bottle it and move on. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, that's better. No, not bottle it. I mean, punch a bag.
Okay.
I mean, Sean,
punch a bag.
Yeah, sorry. What was the question there? Did we have a question? I mean, no. It was Thomas.
I can't remember. Oh yeah, it's just.
Yeah, oh, you're all right.
I've got many roles. Anyway, we'll move on. Lindy Bailey, David and James. Many classic and modern CRPGs are amongst the best reviewed games of all time. With your recent experience with Disco Elysium, has it made you want to check out other games in the genre that you might have missed, e.g. Baldur's Gate?
Yes, as long as I don't have to play them on a computer. Then yeah, I would.
You can play Baldur's Gate on iPad or various other devices. I forget they're out on.
It might have come out on Switch as well. I think.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
But I don't know if I would recommend them off the back of Disco Elysium though, because the key thing with Disco Elysium is no combat. Whereas
I want another game like that because I love the fact there's no combat. Loved it.
What's the well, okay. Before I ask a question, Matt, you should play some of the old point and click ones.
Yeah.
When you say point, I mean
like Broken Sword and
they were a good series.
I played Monkey Island games and stuff.
Sam and Max hit the road.
Monkey Island was okay.
I played Sam and Max. I played I played a bunch of all those, but when I had a PC first time when I was 16.
Did you play Broken Sword?
No, I didn't play that one. No, or I didn't play
They're
that
worth
series,
going through.
They're really good.
They were great, man.
Yeah. They also came out on iOS. Like you can get quite a lot of them now on there. It's
What was CRPG? What does that stand for?
Computer RPG.
What is the computer bit?
Well, because RPGs existed before computers did. In your sort of tabletop RPGs. Dungeons and Dragons style. So the term RPG really refers to the tabletop stuff. So CRPG.
Okay, but we've evolved. We now call role playing games on computer RPGs. So where's CRPG come from?
Well, I guess it's because there's been
what a traditional RPG.
Are they just trying to emphasise the roots of like where this particular one's come from?
There's been a resurgence in the tabletop stuff in the last few years, hasn't there? Like for some reason, loads of people are playing Dungeons and Dragons again now, even though it's probably one of the worst ones. So yeah.
So what you wouldn't call like The Witcher 3 a CRPG?
No, because it's not a traditional RPG. It's not a traditional computer RPG. No.
Yeah, it doesn't have like dice rolls and all that kind of stuff.
Like,
I mean,
so that's what I'm saying. So what's the difference between RPG and CRPG?
So when you say CRPG, you're more specifically talking about computer RPGs that very much emulate the tropes of the tabletop stuff. So there's sort of allusions to dice rolls and Baldur's Gate
that's where Disco Elysium's so different, isn't it? Because it really does feel rooted in a point and click style game. Like to me, anyway, when I play it, I feel like it's way more point and click. I don't know.
It definitely takes a lot from because tabletop RPGs have like skill checks for everything, whereas something like Baldur's Gate. Like, the only time it's pretending to do dice rolls is when you're fighting people. Whereas, like, if you're actually playing, like, a tabletop RPG, you're doing more than just fighting. It might be that, there's conversations or whatever, or, there are other skills that you might use, like, outside of combat. So,
right.
I don't know.
Okay, all right, I get that now. It's just weird. It's like when I saw everyone describing this one as a CRPG, okay. All right, fine. You've explained that. Thank you. But no, don't want to play anymore.
Cool. Oodles at OodlesODim on Twitter. Sean kindly introduced me into my new favourite show, The Expanse.
Yes.
I'm on season 3 in less than a week and I've fully embraced it into my life. Season 3 in less than a week. I mean, I'd like to know what game/show has someone convinced you to play or watched that you're so thankful for after experiencing them. I mean, I think we know the answers here already. Dave, Mass Effect 2. Oh, really?
Mass Effect 2, Dark Souls, yeah.
Sean, FIFA. James.
James has got to be Dark Souls as well, right?
Yeah, definitely Dark Souls.
And probably Yakuza. Who convinced you to play Yakuza?
No one did. It was because I got it for review one time, and then it just...
that'd be that then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Darth asked me as well. Because Yarf asked me to do stream. £6 at @6squid_games. I don't know why I said Yarl, but it felt good. During the Joypod days, there was plenty of talk about hoping to one day work in the video game industry. Which developer would you each of you happily join today as level designers? Why level designer?
Yeah, that's a weird.
I don't know.
Specific thing to go
I mean, just to be clear now, we were young. We didn't know. Honestly, I've got no interest in joining the video game.
Yeah.
No, I've not. And I mean, but it's not to slag the industry off. It's an industry that I love. It's just I've got no interest in that these days. It's the same with games media as well. I've got no interest in getting into that.
Yep.
Whereas I might have wanted to in the past, but no, not anymore. But if the opportunity, I mean, it would be Rockstar, right? It would have to be Rockstar.
Do you want to see your family again?
Well, I mean, yeah, if you're taking, there's pretty much any, like everyone does crunch, right?
Yeah, well,
name a developer that's not going to put you through that sort of stuff.
A lot of the smaller ones are definitely better.
The team working on Anthem.
True. Take the rest of the year off.
Yeah, chill out, mate.
Imagine you just turned up and they were just like, "Oh yeah, so we don't really do anything.
We don't do.
Yeah, we don't.
Not do crunch. We also don't do work.
Yeah. So told everyone we're like revamping the game, but
yeah, just chill out, mate.
News to us. I mean, obviously, Respawn are some of my favourite level designers ever, but I don't think I'd be as good as them. So, or working on Watch Dogs Legion would be quite fun.
Oh yeah,
just go. Yeah, we're putting the den in here. We're going to do that. So, really, yeah, that's going in. I can't wait to see how much of London is covered in that game. That's going to be really cool.
Do you think they'll sort of will it be a small area that's really accurate, or will it be sort of weirdly truncated like Edinburgh?
We've seen it. It'll be weirdly truncated. Yeah. We've seen the size of the area.
Oh, have we? Okay,
Bermondsy's in there.
Yeah,
Bermondsy's in there. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if it was just like a initial art or whatever, but there was a map floating around, and Bermondsey was on the list. So I'm still holding out hope that my football team's crown will be in. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with that, but yeah, it's definitely going to be truncated though, because it's so obviously London's fucking massive, and this looks like it's covering a large area of London as well. So, yeah. Have you noticed that football is definitely a thing in it though? Have you seen all the trailers? And stuff?
No, I haven't. No.
Like there's pubs with like football shirts hanging on the walls and stuff. There's characters wearing. They all seem to be Chelsea shirts though, James. So you'd be loving that.
Mm-hmm.
Not tonight though.
Ridiculous.
Lost 2-0 to Manchester United.
No, we lost 2-0 to VAR. But you're gone.
Oh, here we go. He loves it. He loves the VAR. That's my answer, Sean.
I don't know, because like you say, if there's any that you really look up to, you probably don't feel like you're good enough to join them. Just put me.
Where's the guy that turns up and ruined Respawn?
Oh, can I go and work for Sandlot, who do the EDF games?
And that's a good shout for you. Definitely, you'd love that.
Yeah, just make big empty cities.
I would go for, like you said, like Rockstar or the Yakuza team, just because I'd like to be a scenario designer, design.
But we're talking level design here.
I don't want to do level design; it's boring. I'm more interested in designing stories. I think it'd be more interesting.
Level design only.
Design stories.
Yeah.
Can you give us a pitch?
Okay. I
can't wait. Go on.
No, I think what I would like to do is if it's Rockstar, then so it's either going to be Grand Theft Auto or Red Dead Redemption, yeah.
Or new IP.
You could pick.
Bully 2.
Well, you could pick the game. Go on.
Or table tennis.
Let's say let's go for Grand Theft Auto then.
Where's it set, boy?
Where's it set?
Yeah.
John's London.
Okay, London, right? Okay.
And what era?
Now. Yeah, it's set now.
Okay, cool.
Actually, no, this is just becomes Watch Dogs. I can't do that. It doesn't work.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Ignore that. It's
because what I wanted to do is I wanted to design like something around like a political revolution because I think that could be really interesting.
Yeah.
Like if you and in terms of like like making decisions based on which causes you're going to support. If you're going to turn the other way, like looking for other actions and stuff like that. That kind of thing. I think it could be interesting.
Yeah, GTA boring. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that sounds more Assassin's Creed than GTA, right?
Yeah, but exactly.
Assassin's Creed? Do you mean Watch Dogs?
You don't do that.
No, I mean Assassin's Creed.
Oh, okay, man, Assassin's Creed, okay.
It's just basing it around a revolution and everything, surely.
No, starting one, not like being the person that like instigates the whole thing.
Yeah, they had them in the past. I mean, you can...
No, because was Assassin's Creed 3 was set during like the American Revolution, but that you're like, okay, you're part of events that are unfolding around you. You're not. I mean, you are obviously influencing it, but you're not the person who's like instigating the whole thing from the beginning.
Yeah.
So what if it was set in the future and that revolution was like sort of androids rising up and demanding?
Oh yeah, okay.
Equal rights and stuff.
I'm
not making Detroit, David.
No, James, you're not. You're making Detroit 2.
Matt, have you got an answer?
Well, my answer will be Valve. I'll be like, yes, Valve level designer, and then I'll be incredibly annoyed because I'm like, how they don't release games to me, do they? No. I mean, obviously release a new Half-Life, but yeah, Valve will be the one.
They're not releasing a new Half-Life. Can we stop? Let's stop saying that. They're releasing a VR game.
What should be if it is a new Half-Life?
Not, is it?
Well, yes, no, James. I mean, it literally is, James. Just because it's in like VR or,
Don't really count, does it?
No.
It doesn't count in our traditional ways we've experienced games, but it's a new Half-Life game. I'm excited to see what it's about.
No, okay. Well, we'll see. We will see.
On 23rd
yes,
of March.
We will though, Matt. Won't we?
We will see, David.
Yes, we will see though.
Well, I'm excited to see it, and we will all see it on 23rd of March.
Okay, well, let's see then.
Imagine if we got delayed. I'm excited for the game, but I also love drama, so imagine if it got delayed.
All right, next tweet.
Mick Stockton at Mickey_Disco on Twitter. I've got 22 hours into Hollow Knight.
Can we just stop a second, right? You're not seriously going to read every single one of these, are you? Because we're on like page, what is it, like 10 of like 15 or something. And there's tons of them.
James, do I interrupt you during the news?
Yes,
no,
you do.
Exactly. Let me do my bit. Let me do my bit and shut up. Right, Mick Stockton. I'm sorry, Mick, for that. Mick Stockton, I've got 22 hours into Hollow Knight and I've only done one boss. Farley seems chump-like when it comes to games, a buffoon at best, and I finished it in 15. Are there any games that everyone you know and respect loves, but is a gaming equivalent of Kryptonite to you?
I mean, the one that fascinates me is, again, Disco Elysium, because how many hours did it take you, Sean? 20?
About 30, I think.
30, and it took Matt how long?
55?
I mean...
But the review guide we got sent said it was 60-ish hours game, and that's why I was like, I'm not playing 60-hour game. It just depends how fast you take it.
What was it on how long to beat? Let's have a look.
20 hours, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
I better check my Steam. I'm
Sean
sure
said that because you seem to be implying that Sean rushed through it.
So according to how long to beat, a completionist run is 36 hours.
Fucking hell. I must have really completed it. They mustn't know.
Yeah.
Gaming Kryptonite. What level? I don't quite understand how you've gone from that point to the question. So what's the question?
The question basically is, essentially games I guess games you might struggle with, everyone else seems to race through or get easily.
Oh,
I don't think that's what he means, but then it doesn't.
It's almost like he's just written a tweet to slag me off and doesn't make any sense.
You know what, Mick? You know what? You've embarrassed yourself there. Have a think about what you've done. Have a think about what you've done, Mick, and come up with a better question next week. You know what I mean? Piston Twister. Hi guys. Question. Yeah, he really has. Question for Sean, because I know he's a lover of Star Trek: The Next Generation. What do you think of the new Picard series? I think it's bloody awful. Haven't we covered this last week?
Yeah, we covered that. Why have you put that in?
Go on. Well, this is what I'm saying. Why have we got? I don't understand.
James. shut
Matt,
up.
you just desperately want this to be a 3-hour show, and it doesn't make any sense.
No, I don't. I've got editing to do after this, but people ask questions. Luke Summerhays, our friend of Bears. Dave, when you get the snip, are you going to go for local anaesthetic or go under? I have to recommend the latter. My dad woke up after only one bollock and could feel the doctor poking in around there. Naturally, when he went back to finish the job, he demanded full unconsciousness.
How do you know that?
Well, his dad probably told him.
Yeah, but why are you talking about the vasectomy? I mean, my dad's had one. I don't want to know anything.
Yeah, but if your dad had a great story about the fact that actually he was like half under, he could feel one. I mean, I'm sure that sounds like a good story.
That's a great story to you, is it, Matt?
It's a funny story, isn't it?
I don't know.
Imagine not telling anyone that. You'd be like, I had a great.
I'll do whatever they tell me. If they say local, then I'll do local. This is a video games podcast.
You do apparently if it's local, because they like cauterize your tubes. Apparently, you do smell it like burning.
Whatever.
No, I'll be the same, Dave. I'll probably just go local, to be honest, when it does
happen. Why does everyone
but...
chime in with this? Oh, it's going to be horrible. I know it's going to be horrible, but
no,
we all know why I'm doing it.
I'm not putting you off. I'm just saying that is a thing.
The benefits outweigh the.
They do. They do.
Someone I know got it done, and
his dick fell off.
Well, no, like they basically lasered his bollocks, and he
off or just
no, not off, but he had a terrible time of it.
Like that James Bond bit.
What is this going, Matt?
That was it. I was just trying to remember if he listens. He doesn't listen at all.
Right, okay, go on. I knew Sam was up. Go on. Next.
SNW, not a spaceship. What lengths have you gone to in order to hide a game addiction for loved ones or employers? And can you recommend any good eye drops, energy drinks / adult nappies? P.S. Please thank Sean for making me give Surviving Mars a second chance.
Yes, mate.
He actually tweeted in the week saying it's 3 a.m. and I'm concerned about pipe layout or something.
Yeah. Good fucking game. I don't think I've ever had to hide an addiction from anyone. Certainly, I definitely don't talk to people at work about how much I play games. They would think that was weird, I imagine.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't bang on about it mainly because I know none of them are interested.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm trying to hide it.
Yeah, what opening have you got to? I was up playing Call of Duty till 2 a.m. or whatever. It doesn't.
I mean. The biggest, I've mentioned it before, I used to do it a couple of times, I can't get away with it now, where I would buy a game and Joe would ask me if I'd been wasting my money on a brand new game, and I would say, no, this is a really old one, I just started playing it again.
Oh, yeah, I've done that, yeah.
But
someone lent it to me, which is harder to do these days.
Someone lent it to me in the school playground. Yeah, no. James, I bet you've got some stories.
Not really.
No, you used to hide things all the time. You used to wait until your wife went back to China and then just order a bunch of shit.
That that was. I mean,
yeah. Apart from that,
there hasn't been anything recently. I mean, she knows all the games I'm playing and stuff like that. She's not that bothered. Doesn't care. It's I can't think of anything right now. Yeah.
Living a free life, baby.
Can do what I want. I'm not scared of anyone.
Free spirit, baby.
I can do what I want. Talking about the games. Are you going away soon? Okay. 2-day delivery then.
I'm just gonna sign up to Amazon Prime.
Let's order for Saturday. SMW tweet. It's 3 a.m. and I'm desperately trying to work out how to expand 5 grids across the map to a high tier concrete supply. Thanks, Sean.
Nice.
Didn't you read that one? Go on.
Nah, I did.
Feels like it's 3 a.m. Go on.
For context. MD Krabuffs. TCGS listeners are all about the deep lore. So what's your go-to funny story?
Ooh.
Oh, shit. I haven't really got a go-to one. I am terrible at repeating them, though. Honestly, my memory is just absolutely shocking. And you could tell by the deadness in their eyes that, initially I think it's not a funny story, but then I realised that I told it to them last week.
And even when you go out of your way to be like, have I told you this before? And then out of politeness, they're like, no. And I know, just fucking tell me. Just tell me.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's different situations. Like the one. I mean, I've got loads about Harry. So when we talk about kids, bring up all that like the weird stuff that he says. It's quite funny. But yeah, no, I don't work like that. I haven't got the one story.
No, me neither.
James, have you got any?
Not. I can't really think of anything, to be honest. I mean, not anything funny or anything amusing at the moment.
I'm just terrible at telling stories, so I try to. I'm more of a quip man.
No, not. Why? No. Well, you are more of a quote man. There's no doubt about it. But you're not terrible at telling stories.
No, I'm not good. So I mean, most of mine just involve extreme embarrassment rather than anything funny. But nothing like this is gonna actually kill it when I tell everyone about this story. No, not the keys. Okay,
should we do one more? We're getting towards the end, aren't we?
I mean, this is going to affect Raji's training for his marathon. What's he going to do? Half an hour?
Yeah, I mean, we've been going for 2.5 hours now, haven't we?
Yeah, but he says he wants for 3, so what are we going to...
We're not doing 3 hours, Matt.
We're not doing 3 hours.
Well, we've got to think about that. No, okay, right, okay. Let's think. What one are we going to do next? Okay, Sean Thomas. In case you need any more questions, well, we kind of didn't. But given the success of Sonic, Hollywood has decided that any old shit video game adaptation will be box office gold and asked you four to get involved. What series would you choose, or who do you employ to bring your vision to life? So obviously the news this week is that Sonic's it's actually made more Detective Pikachu in the first weekend, which is I did not expect that at all.
No, me neither.
Everyone's psyched about that.
Both films had a ridiculous amount of advertising behind it as well.
Yeah,
marketing. I don't know, but Sonic and Pikachu, because
we've said, haven't we? We weren't sure how relevant Sonic is to kids now, right? Whereas Pikachu, Pokemon is definitely still massive with kids and a lot of adults as well because it's been around that long. Whereas Sonic hasn't had a good game in a long time.
There's still a bunch of Sonic cartoons on kids' TV channels.
Is there?
Yeah, streaming and everything. I mean, you're talking. I still, even with those bunch of Sonic cartoons, I wouldn't have put him above Pikachu.
No, probably not.
I guess there must have been something to do with when they were released and what films were coming out alongside it, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
Mm-hmm. So it'd be interesting to find out that stuff. But right, we had a bunch of people saying, "Has anyone seen Sonic?" I think we're all going to. Oh no, Sean, are you not going to see?
Nah, probably not.
I need to book tickets after this. We're going on Thursday.
Yeah, I'm seeing tomorrow, so Tuesday.
I mean, I told you about this, but I honestly, I thought I was going to die laughing because Harry turned around to me the other day and he just went, Dad! I went, yes, mate. He went, I really want to go and see the Sonic film. There's adverts on TV everywhere. And I went, all right, mate, well, I'll book ticket. And as I was saying that, he just shouted out, and the Pokemans! And I thought I was going to die. He was talking about Detective Pikachu, but he just said, cut him with that. And I thought I was going to die laughing. And the Pokemans, because he's not into Pokemon. He doesn't know anything about it.
Yeah,
but obviously he knows it's a video game and it's just another video game film. So he wants to go and see it and come out with that. And I did feel I was going to get up off the ground. When are you seeing it, James?
Either Wednesday or Friday, I think. I haven't decided
All
yet.
right, we'll have a chat about it next week because it is quite interesting, isn't it? People have been reacting to it in very different ways. I've heard
a lot of reviews all over the place.
Yeah, I've heard it's appalling. I'll say this: the gaming press reviewing that film is one of the most irritating things I've seen in a long time. I was talking about it in our WhatsApp group, but there's literally a quote on one website that says "What's your favourite thing about the first? What's your favourite thing about the? What is it? No, what do you remember most about the original games? Was it the bit where Sonic was found in a hut by this man?" And I'm like, "What are you saying here, mate? What are you saying? Do you hope that the film was just shot sideways with Sonic running through Green Hill Zone? Is that what you want? You want it to reflect the original games, do you?"
I might have to. I found the quote. Do you want me to read it out?
Yeah, please.
What was your favourite level in the Sonic the Hedgehog video games? The one in which Sonic was hunted with machine guns and sniffer dogs in an alpine forest? Or perhaps the one in which Sonic visited a roadside dive bar, tried line dancing, played darts and brawled with Hell's Angels? Even as an avowed fan of the Cobalt Quilder Erinacide, I'm going to say, original 16-bit escapades. I have to say, I'm struggling to recall these particular moments myself.
Right. Do you know what does me in, right? The film might be shit.
Yeah.
The film might be shit.
Yeah.
But what are you saying with that paragraph? Like, what are you saying? Just... It's that snide stuff that really fucking gets up my nose, you know what I mean? But no, I'm not particularly looking forward to going to see it, but I know Harry will love it. So, I'm just looking forward to sitting in a dark room for a couple of hours. That's what it's all about. It's what it's all about.
The trouble with this sort of question is, like, my favourite video game stories, I think, are things like the Half-Life series, I think of like Last of Us, but like those were great, I think, because I was playing them. You know, Disco Elysium has like amazing writing, but I'm not sure that as a film would work. So it's really tough to think. I mean, I'd love to see like a Last of Us series on, as a movie. There's a lot of potential there, but it would just be another zombie film.
This is the wrong direction. It says here Hollywood has decided any old shit video game adaptation. I mean, I was thinking Zool. Like, why don't we have like a film about Zool?
Zool, the TV series.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Now on HBO.
I mean, not a shit game, but RoboCod. It's just,
it was, Dave.
Film
it
where
was shit.
It was not a good game. Yeah.
I liked it.
Mate, go back. Go back.
I don't want to go back. You can't make me go back.
Go back, Dave.
Ruin your
I'm not
memories.
going to go back.
We have to go back.
It's not the Retro Asylum.
I would love like a realistic live-action Earthworm Jim, because he would look disgusting.
Yes.
Wouldn't he?
I would, wouldn't he?
But you'd have to give money to Doug Tenapel, who's an arsehole. So,
well,
it's a shame.
You know what, Sean? I won't do it then.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Appreciate that, mate.
Point of plug.
Like, because I was thinking, like, I mean, people are saying about the Uncharted movie, but some of the characters in that fit quite well in video games. Like Sully, for example, fits well in that video game. On screen, shocking. Do you remember the fan-made Uncharted thing that come out? Mm-hmm. And Sully just looked ridiculous because he is a bit of a cliche, but it works in that video game world. In a film, it'd just be awful. Like, I like the idea of a Red Dead Redemption thing, but I see that more as a Netflix series than a
definitely.
than a film. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Oh, speaking of that, like the Netflix like press site revealed and then quickly pulled a listing and a description.
Resident Evil, wasn't it?
Yeah, Resident Evil. Yeah, I'm
I'm
psyched for that. I mean, if that.
Oh, you know.
Well, no,
the stories weren't the best thing about Resident Evil,
okay,
were
like,
they?
yeah, sure. It's like it'll be another zombie, a zombie TV show, but yeah,
but they're
going to
have to go into that Umbrella Corp stuff, which instantly, whenever I've read about that stuff, I was like,
boring.
Yeah, I think the description's basically like
that's it.
The description basically says, there's three things outside this town. It's Umbrella, it's this asylum, and it's Washington DC, and it's like secrets from each of them are going to come out. And I don't know. I mean, I'm just interested to know how they take it and what it looks like.
Yeah,
I mean, while we're here, just worth saying again that there is a Castlevania TV show on Netflix, and it's fucking great.
It is excellent.
Even if you know nothing about Castlevania, if you do, there's loads of clever nods in the soundtracks and like environmental details, stuff like that. But yeah, it's proper good, isn't it, James?
Yeah.
Battlefront 2 film, that'd be pretty good.
Yeah. Make a series of films based on the events in that game.
Right, and on that bombshell, we should probably end this week's podcast. What a weird show this week. What a weird
I can't
show.
wait for video games to come out.
I hope you got something out of that, listeners. Although, to be fair, we've teed up some good stuff for next week. We're definitely going to find out irritating things that or not irritating.
Well, it doesn't have to be irritating, but inevitably it will be irritating things, won't it?
Yeah. Weird things that our other half does. We'll come back to that. We've got what is the stakes for this Matt and James bet. That sounds pretty good. And there was something else I can't remember. We'll have to listen back to the podcast to pick all this up. But Matt, do you want to do the socials?
Yeah, James, you streaming on Friday?
Yes.
Or their birthday?
No, it's not. But I mean, I'm looking at my calendar. I can't see anything. So yeah, I am.
Okay. So James is streaming LA Noire, the VR case files, Friday at 9. We're back for Sekiro on Sunday at 8:30. I may try and squeeze a midweek stream in, but we'll have to see. It's quite a busy week. If you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime, and with that you get one free sub every single month. We'd really appreciate it if you went over to our channel and gave us your free sub over on Patreon. It's patreon.com/TCGS. Go up there to support what we do, to get monthly podcasts, exclusive, get early access to our videos and some other stuff as well. And there's thecomputergameshow.com for everything else. Also, on thecomputergameshow.com, we have a store, and from February 20th to 24th, there's a 15% off sale. So what's that? I think that might be Thursday, Friday? I don't know. Anyway, 20th to 24th, 15% off. And obviously, we're at Res, so that's the 28th of March. So get your tickets now at egx.net, and we'll see you there for a live show in the meet afterwards in the Minories pub. And that's about it. There's information actually about the event on the website as well, so just go there if you've got any good questions and that, you know what I mean?
Good. All right. Well, we'll catch you next week. We hope you have a lovely week, and hopefully games will come out soon.
Come on, games. Come on, games.
Come on,
yeah.
Game developers.
Come on.
Get a move on.
Get that game out.
That's a joke. Don't do that. Take time.
Yeah, we hate that.
Goodbye.
Commander,
But what was that?
What was
it's
that?
possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not a weakness. That is life. I believe I understand, sir. And Data, will you leave your hesitation and self-doubt here in your quarters?
Okay, goodbye.
What a weird fucking show.
Definitely.
And it keeps happening.